Can't you mean LRD?
Whatever.
You mean LED?
Whatever.
You mean LED?
I don't care, Louis. Hello, this is Coleman. Welcome to our brand new live stream. I got that wrong. Shut up, you Let's take this. Hello, this is Coleman. Welcome to our brand.
Welcome to live.
Will you be quiet? You always interrupt me.
Wow.
Oh, wow, you're odd. Right. Okay, let me do my intro. Hello, this is Carl.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I need to get this down a little bit. Hello, this is Coleman. Welcome to our brand new live stream on YouTube. On YouTube. Oh, come on. Why are you laughing at my intro? Your intro is worse. Like, hello, I'm my name's Andrew. Welcome back to another video.
Ha ha ha, yeah, ha ha ha, ha ha ha.
Huh? So yeah, hi everyone. I'm just having a cup of tea because I'm thirsty.
Are you now?
Yes. So yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to our brand new live stream on YouTube. In this stream, again, we'll be watching Mr. Nightmare videos because why not? They give me good content and they do well, so why not? There are no simplest videos on YouTube to make. Okay. Yeah, in this stream, as you can probably tell already, I've been joined by two geezers.
Thanks.
Introduce yourself. Bloody hell.
Oh, hi, Stream. Hi, Stream.
Hi, stream.
Wait, your name is Ice Cream.
Ice cream.
That's ice cream in your mouth.
Stuff it in my hair, man.
Wait, why are we echoing?
Why you?
It's echoing so much.
It's not echoing for me. My YouTube.
Wow. 3 of me's.
One of you's enough. Why do we have this problem every stream? I can't be asked. I can't be asked. So yeah.
Okay. Can you turn the computer down?
My computer's fine.
It's not as echoey.
Why does it have to be me?
Tyler, watching your stream.
Can you actually hear yourselves? Because I need to know. I want to get the tech problems out of the way before we actually start the stream.
I want to get the tech problems out of the way.
Yeah, we can hear Andrew. Can we hear you?
Yeah, you can hear me.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Yeah, Ryan's not joining us this stream. Shut up. we'll be doing another one tomorrow. So.
Do another one tomorrow, so.
Yeah, I'll try and get Ryan in for that one.
Yeah.
Shut up! This is like Epic World. You interrupt me. This is like real life Epic World.
Exactly, innit, love?
My hair's itchy.
I know. Nits.
I've not got nits. Shut up.
You didn't know if your hair shed too much, you get mad. You get nits.
No, it's called having an itch in my head.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. So yeah, in this stream we'll be watching Mr. Nightmare once again, third stream in a row.
Okay.
Because why not?
Okay.
Third stream in a row.
Hello.
I've literally run out of ideas confirmed.
That's a whoop.
Yeah, Epic World won't be coming tomorrow. It'll be coming later on during the week. Only because reasons I've literally just said. We're doing another one.
Stop lying.
I'm not lying. Fam. These give me content.
Get the content.
God.
Oh my god.
I can't be off. Okay. Before we actually get into this, I don't know why I did that, to be honest. Yeah. How's everyone's Tuesday today? Let's get this out of the way first.
Okay, I guess.
Okay, I guess. That's basically the sound of a man who's depressed.
Like you at lunch.
Like, no, like you every single video.
We're not. Every single one.
Oh yes, every single one, because you're more quieter than I was when I was 5.
Wait, what age were you when you started to properly talk?
6.
Well, yeah, you were quiet at 5 then.
Exactly, that's what you are in every Epic World video. We literally did a quiz about me like a month ago. Not even that.
And guess who won?
Elliot won. Don't think I forgot about that. We actually never brought it up since like we obviously brought it up since, but not since we come back to school. So go itchy head.
I'm sorry, but Andrew, how did you not win that?
Yeah, exactly. It's the most simplest game on earth, isn't it?
You've known Callum since primary. Yes,
Hi, Rosie. Welcome to the stream. My cousin's joining, by the way.
Who?
My cousin. Oh my god. You almost have.
Cousin?
Oh my god. Are you deaf? It's called Cousin. Wait. Is that how you spell it? Is that how you spell cousin?
Wait, Cam, you didn't know how to spell cousin?
Well, yeah, if I got it right.
Cooking.
That's cooking. Speak. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'll try to get Ryan in for tomorrow's stream. But but this stream is just us three, the trio.
Us three.
Us three. Oh, friend. By the way, they're in the Xbox party. By the way, if you want to know, they're on the Xbox party with me. You can probably see from the stream, but
stop lying.
I'm not lying. It's like the only way I could actually get you two to speak properly. No, you'd be more silent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get started in just 1 minute. How are you two today?
Yeah.
How are you two today?
Embarrassed.
Why?
I'm joking.
Oh my god. I swear you.
Oh my god.
How are you, Andrew? Oh, I'll come.
How are you, Andrew? Good. I'll come to it. How are you?
Not good because we've literally had double English like an hour ago. 2 hours ago.
Yeah, it was really
boring. And what did you do? What did you do? Lodgers.
I did an assessment.
Yeah,
They were so fun.
so like the whole 2 hours.
2 pages.
The whole 2 hours.
Yeah. The first hour was.
Yeah, my cousin put in the chat. Double English sucks. Haha. You have you have a point. Yeah, me and Elliot.
What's worse, double English or double DT?
Double DT. Yeah, DT.
Yeah.
Because
DT.
No, for me and Ryan though, the problem is, we are on our own. You and Elliot, you're both in the same class. Me and Ryan are just on our Todd. So, I like double English more because. What?
Nothing.
So yeah, Andrew. Well, Elliot has. Elliot has no experience with these stories apart from yesterday's stream. I recommend go checking that out because that's like the best stream I've done so far with this. But because that's like one of the only stream, like the first stream that you've had all 4 of us in it. So yeah, hopefully we can get that back soon. But so yeah, thanks for asking me how I was, guys. Great support.
Okay. Oh yeah, Calvin, how are you today?
Oh god. I'm doing alright. Well, I'm doing even good now because I'm streaming and I'm watching horror stuff.
Good to know.
Well, school wasn't that good. I was a moody git the whole time.
No one asked Andrew what?
I was a moody git the whole day because like it was so boring. Like we had the most boringest lessons that we could basically ever be in.
Hey, you were boring, weren't you?
Yeah, we had history.
No, history's not so bad.
Yeah, history's like one of the best, like the only good lesson. I got itchy eyeball. DT, maths, and double English. History, DT, maths, and double English. Boringest lessons in the world, confirmed. So that's why today's been boring, but maths and English together is hell, says my cousin. Yeah, you all have a point about that. I had maths and English back to back. Well, maths first and then, whatever. You get the picture. Oh, wow, great shot, guys.
Do we have science tomorrow?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, for God's sake, science is so boring. And again, I'm on my Todd.
Because me, Elliot, and Ryan are all together.
And I'm on my Todd. Why? Who decided that? Oh, I need a form of complaint. I'm better with people that I know, not people I don't know. Okay, so
what do you think you will get at your test,
none.
Elliot?
What test?
What teacher do I have
The
for
science
science?
Maybe.
I don't know.
10
I
or
forgot.
20.
I forgot. I've not had science for a while. I forgot.
So you think you will get 20 out of 35?
No, I said 10 or 20.
Oh.
I'll get a 0. Science is not my. Science is like one of the hardest subjects for me because there's loads of like chemicals and explosions or Bunsen burners and all that rubbish. Science is like the hardest thing to remember.
Is it not?
It is for me. I said for me. For me.
For me.
For me. Right, I'm not going to waste any more of your time because you've been staring at me for the past 11 minutes. Let's get into this. Let's get into these videos. Let me know if you can hear it in the chat when we actually get started. So, the first story we're going to watch is 4 creepy true kidnapping horror stories.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun! Right, let's get started. Oh god, I just turned on my microphone. Right, let's go.
Why?
My YouTube microphone. Kidnapping horror stories, let's do this. Let me know if you can hear it in the chat. Let's get all the tech stuff out of the way first. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Being a little kid is a scary point in your life, yet you're too young and innocent to even realize it.
Oh,
I have a horrible memory from my early childhood that I wish I could simply block out completely, but I just can't.
okay, we can hear it, we're good.
I was, I believe, 6
By the
or
way,
7
let me
years
just pause it for just 1 sec. If you like get scared during these stories, I'll try to turn it over to me, like switch to my point of view, so you can actually sleep tonight because these stories sometimes no, that's not the case. So let's go. Okay, I'm not gonna keep pausing it.
I was at the summer rec program that my parents had signed me up for.
Oh, you're odd.
I was in the 6 and 7-year-old group, the youngest group at the camp. One day our group was at the playground, and some oldish man sitting on a bench started talking to me. He knew my name. I remember feeling very comfortable with him, like he seemed kind.
Oh
He gave me a
yeah.
candy that I ate on the spot, and he offered to push me on the swing. I think I told him that's alright, and continued talking to him, asking him dumb little kid questions.
The hell?
He introduced himself as Robbie. I still
Robbie!
remember to the day. He told me he was friends with my mom. And since she was running late,
Robbie.
he had to pick me up after camp.
Oh,
I
cool.
said okay. And around
Wait a
that
minute.
time, my counselors shouted for our group to assemble our line by the gate so we could leave. We got back to our group's home area, where we would sit and wait for the parents to come pick the kids up. I saw Robbie approaching the bench, and he said to Cal, one of my counselors, that he was picking me up for the day since my mom wasn't available. Cal looked at me and made sure I knew him. I nodded my head. Cal crossed my name off in his notebook and high-fived me goodbye, and I walked off with this Robbie guy. I remember he grabbed and held my hand as we walked.
Oh,
I also remember that he was walking extremely fast. Like it was hard for
That's-
me to keep up with my short little legs.
that's normal. But you have
We
to.
made it to
You
his
have to.
car.
You have.
He let me in the back passenger.
You have to remember. He was like he was in his early childhood at that point. So. You could have committed a murder and he believed you. I don't know why I use that example, but you know what I mean. You will believe anything that kid will.
Yeah.
He seemed to be in a hurry.
That's a bit weird I used a murder
Rushed
example,
into his
but
seat,
you
started
could get
the car,
kidnapped and murdered.
Locked the doors and started driving fast out of the parking lot.
Odell, you're fast,
I
aren't you?
asked, "Are you taking me home?" "Yeah," he replied.
Do you even know where I live, eh?
Overhearing some
Eh?
yelling
You
noises,
think you're
I
a big man?
I lifted myself off the seat to look out the rear window and saw two of my counselors pointing at the car I was in to one of the park supervisors. This is when things got scary for my little self. As I was looking out the back window, the man screamed at the top of his lungs to get down. I got so scared I started to cry and tried opening the door when he was at a red light, but he had the child lock on. He tried to calm me down by apologizing, saying he was driving me home. I can't remember what exactly I was thinking, but I do remember being scared, starting to wonder if I was actually being brought home. We were in the car for quite some time. I started to realize I didn't recognize where we were. We were not anywhere near my house. I felt like I had to throw up for being so scared. I remember Robbie muttering, oh shit, constantly under his breath.
Shut up! Stop
Catching
swearing
up
if you
in
look
the
at the
rear
kid!
mirror. Then, the sound of
Ew.
a police siren directly behind
kept
us made him
swearing,
scream in anger
big
once
man.
more. He pulled to the side on a neighborhood road and told me to go along with whatever he said. But he didn't have a chance for that. Two police officers stormed out from the car with their guns half drawn and yelled at Robbie to step out of the vehicle.
Get
with
out
his
the
hands
car!
up. He did so without question and was cuffed while they had him laying face first on the concrete. He was brought into the car while the other officer stuck with me, comforted me, and asked me questions. Another cop car arrived, and so did my mom in her minivan. She was in tears and hugged me when she got out. So backing up, when Robbie, or whatever his real name was walking me to his car, my mom had already gotten to the bench to pick me up, and Cal told her some man already picked me up. That's when they ran to catch what car we got into and called the cops right away. One of the camp supervisors was actually tailing us on the road, which is why Cal was panicking and how the cops were able to locate us. Now you can see why I wish I could block this memory out. It's disturbing, it's sickening, and I often have to think about the horrible, unimaginable things that could have been done to me if I had not been saved.
Ooh, oh god, I forgot about this. I'm turn that down just a sec. What
I
did you
think you should do.
What did you think about that story then, Geetaz?
It's quite good.
Scary. Yeah.
Well, that's the point of a scary story, and it just be scary.
Oh yeah.
So, I'll give it a bit more in depth, because obviously you two don't even know what the word depth means. Because they think, oh, it's good, oh, it's good, oh, it's scary! Oh, you me doing this? Right, so, a way to, you're not professional at all. I never burp in videos or streams. You're not professional. Neither you, Andrew. You kept eating in yesterday's stream.
Says the person who just like ate a pack of crisps like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wait, I didn't eat a chocolate bar that was from 2020.
Oh, so you told? No, I didn't eat you.
Hold on, wait a minute.
So-
Let's get this straight. Did you eat? No, wait a minute. So, before I'll get back in these stories. I won't keep pausing, don't worry. But did you eat some? No, did you thought it was from this year? Eat it and then look at the back. It's like February 2021. So
No,
2020.
So I picked it up, looked at the date, then I saw what date it is. So
Why would someone have a Kit Kat? What chocolate was it? Like, was it a Kit Kat or something like that?
Yeah.
What did you throw that out like as soon as it went out of date? Not like a year after it went out of date. That was before Corona time. Even though, speaking of which, is the 1 year anniversary since Corona really became a big thing. So yeah, I don't know why I wanted to remember that, but even though I didn't, but yeah, but that's like the big things in everyone's minds. Corona does not shut up. Right, go back to story number 2. It's hard to find my sat nav.
There was this one night after work. where
No,
all
you know
the
those
employees
navigation
at my
things in
job
your
clocked
car?
out a little late because we happened to be extremely
no.
busy that night.
Oh, never mind.
As usual, we cleaned the store and headed for the
Can't
front to
be
clock
arsed.
out. That
Can't
night
you?
after work, I would be hanging with 2 of my coworkers.
Oh
We smoked a blunt and went to Wingstop. All was well. 1 a.m. finally struck. I needed to be home and I needed gas. I said bye to my 2 coworkers and headed for the nearest gas station. It was actually right around the corner from my work. Thank God, because I'd gone to work with it running on E. My car was running on fumes. Although being the closest gas station, I avoid
That means
this
it's
one for
running
many
out of
reasons,
gas.
as do many other people, especially at this time of night. There's often homeless
Depends if
drug
you're
addicts
American or
walking
not.
through it. Many people hit
Well,
cars
you
that
are
drive
too, aren't
off,
you?
fights, people
Yeah, I
scream
sit
at
on the
cars.
couch.
It just manages to attract the wrong people.
By the
So
way, if
as
you
I'm
don't know,
pulling
that's
up to the
couch
pump,
for
the
America.
high officially leaves. I come to realize that I'm about to pump gas at a cornered gas station
What the?
hidden by
Do you know
buildings
Chris was
at
an
1
okay?
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
No car, no
They
person
call
was
it
seen
that
in
shit
sight.
chips.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Got out
yeah.
and
They
turned
call it
around
like
to reach
they call it
inside
like
for my
chips
bottle.
fries or something. I don't know.
I come up, and there's this homeless man going through the trash with this very
It's a homeless
large
man going
white
through the
bag.
trash. Hold on, this is
I'm
getting
not
good.
talking about big hefty that promises to keep all your household trash intact all the way to the outside trash can. I mean, this bag was freakishly big, and I couldn't see through it. I was startled at first, as I didn't even hear him walking or anything. I insert my card and look over. His head is in the trash at this point. I see him digging for recyclables, I think.
He's homeless, Andrew. What do you
Just
expect?
continue trying to get the thing to take my card. To be safe again, I make sure I lock my car once more. And this is where things get scary.
Oh God.
As the sound of the car goes off, this man perks his head up, almost deer-like, makes direct eye contact. He looks to be at least 6'4".
Oh dear.
6'4". That's my size.
He had injection marks all over his body, and his skin was peeling, rashing, and he had a buzz cut. Despite him obviously being a drug addict, his face wasn't affected too badly yet. Look, they gave me a bag big enough to fit a dead body in. The words didn't seem real. I felt the color leave my body. And just then, this man picks up an old metal little kid's bike from the other side of the trash can. He begins to slowly, step by step, come closer, and begins telling me he wasn't going to take me.
Oh,
He held the kid's bike like it was weightless. Mind you, I'm a girl and personally have no arm strength.
I have an arm
I'm
strength.
not going to take you. We're not going to take you. Don't look scared. Look pretty.
Don't look scared. Oh yeah, that's easier said than done, mate.
To my car. I jumped for it, and that's when I booked it out of there and realized there was another man hiding at the pump behind me. The other man was wearing a mask that covered both his mouth and nose. So much
So he's
could have
like me,
happened that night.
because
Glad
of
it
mask,
didn't go
because
the
of
other
Corona.
way. I'm pretty sure that man was going to come up from
What? I
behind
have a
me,
black
either
mask. It's
make me
not
smell
that hard.
something
People are gonna
to leave me
think, am I
unconscious,
one of these
or
dudes?
Who knows what. Please be safe out there, and always be prepared for the unexpected.
Wait a minute, that wasn't really a kidnapping story. That wasn't really kidnapping, no. Yeah, it was a. They were about to
When I was
kidnap
10,
you, but they
My
didn't.
uncle used to own a property in Kentucky, which was not too far of a drive from our home in Virginia.
Virginia.
He was an avid hunter, so his place was in the middle
It's
of
a
the
place
woods.
in America, I think.
Perfect hunting area.
Maybe
He
I
let my
don't
dad
know.
take us there when he wasn't using it, just as a nice little escape from the suburbs,
Fudge,
because we all love the
Virginia.
secludedness.
I know he said that wrong then.
I would love to go on hikes in the woods by myself, because I've always been a nature freak. One time while hiking late in the day, I thought I heard footsteps around me. They sounded like human footsteps. So I turned and started walking the other way. At the edge of the woods, however, I saw someone standing behind a tree, very shady-like. Seemed he was trying to hide. I ran back in the direction of the property and went inside the house. I told my dad I was being watched in the woods.
My
He told me
dad.
to just stay on my uncle's property.
You are
and
my
not wander
dad.
off.
You're my dad.
I
Woogie
didn't want to
woogie
go back
woogie.
outside after that anyway, though. My dad and two little brothers went off to pick up a pie at a nearby pizza place.
I know.
I stayed behind because I'd rather watch the movie that was playing on the TV. I've been alone in that home many times. I wasn't scared. I heard steps coming up the little wooden front porch. There was a knock at the door, so I jumped up to let them in because I was starving. But I froze at the door, thinking,
Uh-oh.
how could they be back so quickly? Dad? I said through the door. Someone on the other side said it's not your dad, but we need some help. My heart dropped. I looked out the window to the porch. It was still just bright enough to see an unfamiliar man standing on
Oh
the
no!
porch. He noticed me at the window.
I can't be arsed, man.
Oh, shut up.
Well, I actually thought something would pop up there, but they didn't. Let me just see if anything does pop up. I think they might be. I don't know. I can't tell.
I think it might be. I don't know. I can't tell.
That's Andrew's voice on Helium.
That's Andrew's voice on Helium.
You can't even do it. Right, let's move on.
I can.
Looked at me and smiled. I shut the curtains and yelled, "Dad, there's someone here at the front door."
Daddy, there's someone at the
Pretending
front door.
that my
Help
dad was
me!
Still home. We saw your dad leave just before. Just open the door. We just need some help. I ran to my uncle's master bedroom to hide there. There was a tap at his window, and I saw a second man outside. He also yelled, "Open the door, please."
Open the door now.
I heard
You will
kicks
not
at the
hurt
front
me.
door.
I will not hurt
It
you.
was a very flimsy old wooden
sound like
door,
an Indian.
and it gave in easily. I panicked and went to my uncle's closet where he kept his guns. I grabbed his shotgun, which he taught me.
I've
how to
got
use.
guns.
As the door to the bedroom opened, I aimed the gun at the tall man's torso. He
Oh,
raised
God.
his hands and nervously laughed, telling me to calm down.
Calm down.
He backed away, back to the front door with his hands.
Bye
still
bye.
He said, "We're gonna leave, okay?" The two men walked away into the woods, no car in sight. My dad soon returned to see the broken-in door, and I explained everything. He called the cops,
Good.
who stayed with us while my dad did his best to fix up the door. My uncle installed cameras and a stronger door the next time he drove in there, and he sold the place a few years later.
Oh my god, that wasn't even that scary, fam.
When it comes to Bitcoin, wow. We've all seen this rally this year, and it's minted.
I don't care, mate. That wasn't even that scary. The first one was like the best one I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the second one was basically like she was about to get kidnapped, but she didn't. These are supposed to be about people getting kidnapped and then being saved, not really nearly being kidnapped. And this is basically what that story was. They weren't even that bad. You don't even know they could have actually needed help. Because this man's so much of a pussy, he can't even be bothered to help.
No, Daddy.
Fam, you and Ryan were the last person to swear.
Not true.
Well, yes, it is, because you're the most likely. You two are the most likely people to swear. So let's move.
Andrew never done it.
I'm talking about you and Ryan.
Exactly.
So shut up. Oh, you're odd. Last story of this bit of the video.
The following story takes place on one of the worst days of my life.
Who is it now?
My crazy ex-girlfriend and I had just broken up after having a screaming match in her car. She basically told me where I could shove it and left me in the rain in some parking lot of an abandoned office supply store.
Shove
It
it.
was way too late in the night to call either of my parents to pick me up. Of course, my sister was in a different state, so I tried calling an Uber as I walked out of the lot towards the street. I swear, adding to my misfortune, every single Uber canceled on me, one after the other. It got to the point I wanted to cry out loud and scream. I was a 15-minute walk from home. I figured to hell with it, I'd walk it. But shortly into my walk, an SUV pulled up to me. 3 guys were inside. They seemed around 30. The guy in the back said, "Yo man, you need a ride?"
Yo, geezer.
I figured, why not? What did I have to lose at that point? It beats walking in the rain. I hopped in the open seat in the back and thanked all of them.
Thanks, geezers.
I gave the driver my address, and he started on his way to my house. I tried making conversation by talking about how I just broke up with my ex. Tried to make light of it, but they didn't respond in the way I was hoping.
They probably don't care.
The guy in the front passenger seat turned to look at me. I looked back for a second, expected him to laugh or say something, but he just looked at me with this blank.
They probably don't
emotionless
even
expression,
care, to be
his
honest.
eyebrows slightly raised, mouth hanging open as if he were trying to intimidate me. I
Oh,
looked away, out the window, though I could still sense him looking at me through my peripheral vision. The GPS voice said turn right on the next road, but the driver turned left.
what are you doing?
No, I think you went the wrong way, I said to the driver. The guy sitting right next to me said, nah, chill, man. The lack of communication in this car was really adding to the building tension. I noticed we were entering quieter, if not dead streets with few houses or buildings nearby. I was scared to say what I said next, because I knew if they didn't acknowledge it or listen to it, That night I was in a bad situation. I asked the driver to just drop me off on the side. I'd walk. And his response was just laughter. The guy in the front passenger seat joined him in laughing. The sound of the doors locking as the car was coming to a stop was the moment I knew. I knew I had to run. I flicked the freshly locked switch back up and pushed the door open. The guy sitting next to me started yelling, "Get him!"
Get that
I felt his
yeah.
hands try to grip my arm. I got out from the car though, and I ran into the adjacent patch of trees which sat next to the parkway. I bolted across the parkway, and yes, there were still cars speeding by at this hour. I almost risked my life passing that parkway just to escape those goons. I'm not sure if they were just trying to rob me, kidnap me, or what, but I feel like if they were trying to just rob me, they could have done that anywhere and driven off. They didn't. That's what scares me to think about.
Alright.
What?
Well, that's the end of that video.
What's that?
Yeah, my computer's
Yes, Andrew.
a bit froze right now. And I might have to disconnect the party and then bring me back. Hold on.
Okay, bye.
Oh, actually, hold on now. I don't know. This might work actually. Yeah. The first one was Rosie. The first one was the best one. The second one, no, the last one was like the closest to good. Because like the others were not really that good, to be honest. But okay, you can name it. Okay, we're good. Because my computer just froze on me for some reason. It was weird. Right, next story. 3 true scary field trip horror. No, wait a minute. That did not make sense. 3 true scary field trip stories. So basically, school trips.
Okay.
I don't know if I've watched this one before. I can't remember what ones I have watched and what ones I haven't. But if I watch one, because in the last stream I watched a hotel stream, the hotel ones, and I already watched those in like almost a year ago, but I can't remember. Let's go.
The good times sound like
Never mind then. Adverts.
Simon Mayer.
Okay,
Excited now.
no. Field trip. Okay, here we go. Field trip horror stories. You are my dad. You're my dad.
I used to be in the Darien School District in Connecticut during my middle and high school days. It was a wealthier district, and a lot of field trips were offered to the students. I was a member of the chorus, and every year we'd take at least 1 or 2 optional field trips as a class. The year in question, in which I was a sophomore, we took a trip to Woodloch Pines Resort in Pennsylvania. The bus ride there took a few hours. I was with my friend Landon. We were going to be sharing a room. From the moment we got there, we figured it was going to be pretty dead. It was November after all, so it was cold up there. We had 3 days planned for the trip, and there were 4 chaperones. They weren't really following us at all times. We just had to tell them what activities we'd be going to do. The first day was fun. Landon and I, along with 2 girls who we were friends with, did some go-karting, rock climbing, went to the pool, and then we went to eat dinner.
No, that seems alright.
After dinner, we went back to our room and just hung out for a while. For the record, not all of us students were able to get rooms next to each other. The room was ground level, and there was a clear sliding door that provided a view of the lake down the hill. We went back out for a while, then came back to the room at about 10 o'clock. We left the blinds to the door open because the moon was giving off a cool reflection on the lake down below. Little did we know that would be the start of a nightmare.
Oh, you're what?
If I had to guess, I would say it was a whole hour of us just rolling around in both of our beds trying to get comfortable, occasionally talking, before Landon, whose bed was closer to the door, screamed.
That sounds
I
like
had
me.
no idea what was going on, why he could have been screaming, or if it was a joke, until I looked at the door. It was a sight from a horror movie. There was a really tall, skinny older woman with long,
Wait a minute.
grayish hair standing on the other side of the door, with her hands cupped up against the glass next to her face, as if she were trying to better see into the room.
Ooh.
That sounds like my bedroom. Not really. Elliot, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, talk about stuff. No, talk about this basically.
Okay.
The woman then walked away.
Bye.
Landon looked at me, I guess waiting for me to get up so he would have the confidence to get up as well and run outside after her. When we did, we didn't see her anywhere though.
Ooh.
The cement trail that ran past each and every room of the building was void of any people. There was nobody on the surrounding grass, nor anyone walking down the hill. We both saw the woman though, so we knew we weren't seeing things. The next day, we didn't tell any of the chaperones, but we told the two girls who we were friends with. Night came once again after a long day of many activities. We entered the room through the back door and made sure to shut the blinds this time. Landon fell asleep before me. I fell asleep around half an hour after him.
Hold on, I want to see if there's any like scary imagery. Imagery. I can't say
Images.
Imagery. I just said imagery.
Images.
Images. There is one bit here, but I'll just
I
turn
woke
over
up to silence.
Oh hi, oh god, that's a wrong name. The Vegas Pro Editor. Well, just that's a very wrong name. And you thought my
Wrong name.
shut up, Elliot. So if anyone's just joining in the stream, we're watching Mr. Nightmare videos. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's basically like one of those those scary story dudes who like narrate over people's scary stories. So that's basically all you've missed. That's it's the end, man. Hey, to the videos because I paused way too much. Oh crap!
Couldn't tell if something had woken me up or not. All I knew is that I didn't feel right. I sat up and whispered Landon's name to see if he was awake.
I know there's somebody
He
there.
didn't answer.
I'm gonna
so
skip over
I
to my
turned
view.
the left out of pure instinct and curiosity.
Is
to
it
look
so
at
people
him,
can sleep tonight?
But I couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Something was blocking my view of the other bed. I looked up, and towering over my bed was the tall old woman. She took 2 steps back as she said, "Your back door was unlocked," before turning around and walking outside.
I just screamed like a little
I was
girl.
frozen in that bed, except for my shaking. I woke Landon and told him what happened. We locked the back door, shut the blinds once again, and agreed to stay up the rest of the
Okay,
night.
let's get back to my view. The
It
image
was
is
already
gone.
4 in the morning, so we wouldn't be losing much sleep. By 8 o'clock, we went to the dining hall to eat breakfast. When we got back to our room building, ready to tell our chaperones, we could see the old woman through the glass of the neighboring room. She was sitting on the bed, hands folded, sitting up straight, facing the door, facing us. We ran to the front desk in the lobby building to report her to the staff instead of the chaperones. It was weird, none of them really knew what to do in the situation. Eventually, we persuaded them to come to the woman's room with us. There, they found the woman sitting in the same position, along with an older man sitting on the other bed, looking up at them as they entered. Apparently, the woman had some kind of mental disorders, but the man wasn't all there either. There was something very off-putting about him, and they just weren't the kinds of people that you'd expect to see at a family-friendly resort. The staff wouldn't kick the two out like we hoped, though, so we told our chaperones. Long story short, after a lot of arguing between chaperones and staff, we had to end the trip early, and we all went home. Me and Landon were just happy to get out of there.
Good lad. Next story, story number 2.
When I was in the 4th grade,
Okay.
my class took a field trip to a rural zoo-type place about an hour away from our school. I remember vividly it was a cloudy day with the occasional raindrop or two falling. The zoo was kind of small, but it was kid-friendly. It had a decent amount of habitats, mostly smaller animals though, nothing exotic. There was also a big building as part of the zoo where taxidermied animals were put on display, along with other interesting attractions that I don't really remember. Admittedly, I was kind of off in my elementary and middle school years.
Oh,
I would do weird antisocial things, and my teachers and my mom would pick up on it. For whatever reason, when we were touring the building as a group, I decided to walk into one of the bathrooms without telling any of the teachers.
Well, that's a bit dumb,
I
innit?
did my business, washed my hands, and entered back out into the hallway. Nobody was around. I walked down one of the hallways we hadn't crossed yet. I still vividly remember the dim, moody lighting and the scarlet red carpets of the hallways. My 8-year-old imagination was going wild as I witnessed all the stiff, lifeless animals that were once alive behind the glass
You're
boxes.
lifeless.
I stopped in my tracks when I saw some man, obviously hiding behind a stack of chairs. I think I laughed, thinking the man was joking around. He came around from the chairs and walked over to me, asking where the group went. I said, I don't know. He grabbed my hand and told me to follow him. I must have thought he was taking me back to the group. He led me to an exit door which led to the back section of the building by a couple of dumpsters, a few benches, and the woods.
Uh-oh.
When we got outside, his tugging became a lot more aggressive, and his grip became tighter around my arm. He was pulling me into the woods. I didn't scream or cry for help, but I remember the feeling I felt in my stomach, like I was so afraid that I could throw up. And then a woman screamed at the top of her lungs. It was one of the teachers on the other side of the fence. The man let go of me and ran into the woods. Moments later, a few of the teachers ran outside the exit door to this side of the fence and pulled me back inside. The teachers all yelled at me, but at the same time comforted and smothered me. They called my parents, and the field trip was officially over. The owners of the attraction called the cops. We all got back on the buses, and we all went home. As my bus was leaving the parking lot, however, my observant 8-year-old self spotted the man crouching down in the woods near the road, hiding behind a branch, watching the buses pass. Once again, for whatever bizarre reason, I kept quiet. I was probably too shy at the time or just too shaken up to say anything. All the other kids looked at me weird the rest of the ride home. I didn't care. But I hope that man never found success in snatching an unsuspecting young child like myself at the time.
Dun 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 dun. I didn't know what to think during that. I swear Elliot's more silent than Andrew is during videos. No, I didn't know what to think during that story, did you?
At the beginning, it was like, okay. Then at the end, it was like, whoa.
No, it's like when he was pulling the dude outside, I was like, ooh, this is getting good.
Yeah.
It was like a typical field trip, innit? But one geezer just wandered off.
One geezer.
One geezer!
Geezer.
Okay, one more story of this video, and I'll again to not get confused. Video when I say video, I mean the video that we're watching, not the stream. Just so people won't get confused. It's just so people won't get confused. Oh, you're loud.
Back in high school, I took a mysteries and mythology type class, or something like that. I don't remember the name of the class. It basically just had to do with real life mysteries and creepy shit. I was into that kind of stuff.
So weird.
I was taking a class with a good friend, who I'll call Ben for this story. The teacher of the class took us on a field trip to a nearby abandoned village with an unknown past. The village was built in the early 1900s, but seems as though it had been quickly abandoned shortly after it was built. The bus ride there was about 20 minutes. All of us were glued to the bus windows as we pulled up some sketchy-looking, decrepit road cutting through dense forest. The road eventually led to a clearing. We were there. We stepped out onto the road, which had grass growing through the cracks. The grass surrounding was almost knee-high. Then there were the buildings. The tall, archaic brick buildings with the boarded-up windows all gave off such chilling vibes. The teacher lined all 20 of us up, counted heads, and then began leading the way.
Hi ho,
the
hi
point of this
ho.
little field trip was to
Off to the
use
creepy
the
buildings we
so-called
go.
skills we learned in class to see if we could put anything together about why the village may have been abandoned so long ago. Some of the buildings had holes in the walls to serve as entryways. There were even holes in the ground next to some of the buildings, seemingly dug to get into the basements of some of the buildings, which seemed creepy. There was one building, though. It stood taller than any of the others. It just intrigued me the most. While the teacher was leading the group towards the village church, Ben and I decided to sneak off on our own to look for anything interesting. When we walked off in the direction of the tallest building, we saw a hole in the ground. It was dug by the back door of the building, which had been sealed off.
Why?
In the hole was a ladder, which led down to the concrete floor below. We both looked at each other and knew we had to do it.
Why? Who
Ben
said?
climbed down first.
You psychic
then me.
doctor?
Luckily, this was just around the time Apple started putting flashlights on their phones, so we had a source of light. It was creepy down there. There were a couple of beer bottles, one graffiti tag on the wall, and dusty wooden planks everywhere.
Is this a Minecraft
There was a
game?
wooden stairway which led up to complete darkness, since all windows and doors had been sealed shut from above. We had already gone as far as to enter the building, so we figured we'd go up the stairs too.
Oh, Lord.
I went first, and with each step, the creakiness of the 100-year-old wood made me feel as if I was going to fall through each and every step.
And I.
Ben followed suit. This floor of the building was very tight. It seemed like there were many openings going off into different, smaller rooms. It was so dark in there, you would never even guess it was daytime.
You could
Ben
probably
and
not.
I were honestly starting to get creeped out in there, and agreed to go back outside. But just then, there was a noise in one of the tiny rooms, like a big rock hitting the concrete floor. A normal instinct would be to run, but Ben and I froze, locked eyes for a moment,
Dun-dun-dun.
then both tiptoed over to the opening of the room. We shined the lights into the room and ran. We ran back down the stairs and then up the rusty ladder back outside. We caught up to the group out of
What
breath.
happened?
We didn't say anything, though, to avoid getting in trouble. One of our classmates asked us what was wrong. We told him we snuck into one of the buildings. And in one of the rooms, when we shined the light into it, we saw 3 guys standing maybe 10 feet away from the doorway, facing Ben and I in a weird formation, as if they were waiting for us.
Whoa, whoa.
As we continued following the group, we paid extra attention to the tall building we entered from the distance. And before leaving, we saw a person's face at one of the higher level windows
Hello,
that
geezer.
had been boarded up. We never told the teacher in fear of getting in trouble. We didn't know what to think. Were those just homeless people living in there? Were they gang members in hiding? Ben freaks me out with his theory. He says they were ghosts of the people who once lived in the town. Still, the way the 3 guys were just hauntingly standing there so calmly, staring at us the moment we peeked our heads through that doorway, I still can't get that image out of my head. I may go back to that village one day, just to prove Ben's idea wrong.
What? Why are you going back? Why are you thick in the brain, fam? Oh, our students popped up. Hey. But why? Why would you go up there? Are you thick in the brain? Are you thick in the brain? Nah. Yes or no? Would you go back to that weird?
No, definitely not.
What you, Eric? Yeah, well, yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't either. Who would go back there? Who cares if you want to prove his theory wrong? It's better than getting yourself killed for no reason. Okay, next
True,
one.
yeah.
3 disturbing true ice cream truck stories. I've not seen this one before. Ice cream geezers. I've not seen this one before, so a bloody advert. Okay, let's do the game. Are you ready? Let's do this.
You know what?
Zoe 1. Dun dun. That sounds like my hobby every time I do PE.
One thing I always enjoyed in the summertime was the ice cream truck, specifically Mr. Softy. As a very little kid, anytime I'd hear the song of the Mr. Softy truck,
That sounds like a
I'd
weird. That sounds like a.
I'd beg my mom for a few dollars and run outside to wave down the truck. I remember one of the first times I was ever left home alone. I was, I think, 7 years old. My mom was away somewhere and my dad was off that day.
Come on, people. My parents wouldn't leave me on my own until I was like 12.
He was definitely the less responsible parent.
When did you
I was in the
first
living
like
room watching
stay
SpongeBob.
home by yourself?
Like 11 or 12
I heard
years
the
old.
familiar sound of the Mr. Softy tune outside.
No, because I'm autistic, man. You know, guys, I'm autistic. People might.
Usually had stray
My
dollars
parents
and
were more
coins.
worried about me. Fam.
Grabbed a dollar bill and some coins.
That was actually the reason why.
I ran outside to the street and waved the truck down just
Right,
in
let's
time.
move on.
It pulled over, and the oldish man came to the window asking what I wanted.
I want a
As for
shotgun to
specialty
kill
time,
you, fam.
He told me I was a little short with the money I had.
you're short in
I
height.
told him I didn't have any more money because my parents weren't home. I distinctly remember him asking me, "You're home alone?" As if he were confirming it. I said yes, and he started acting all friendly and understanding. He told me to come into the truck so that I could make my own ice cream cone. I stepped into the
Just
truck.
give him the actual
Man
ice
went and
cream
shut
cone
the
so
door.
the geezer could go home.
He told me to help myself to whatever ice cream I wanted. He said he was going to show me how to be an ice cream man, and he went to the driver's seat of the truck.
Is he going to
and started
become an
driving
ice cream at the end
somewhere.
of this story, or what's going on here?
My young, innocent self thought this was all super exciting as I was pouring soft serve ice cream into a cone. But I finished that cone and then started wondering where we were going, as we had been driving for a while. I went to the front of the truck to ask him, and he asked me in a more stern voice than he'd been speaking in to please go stay in the back of the truck. I listened to him. My appetite for more ice cream was suddenly gone as I got more uncomfortable. We went from a busy main road to a quiet residential road. At some point, I noticed the ice cream truck's music wasn't playing, and he was driving rather fast. The truck finally stopped in front of some abandoned-looking building, and he asked me to come follow him outside to the building. But not before we heard a tapping on the door of the truck. I heard a familiar, concerned voice yelling through the crack of the door. The man opened the door, and my neighbor Margie walked into the truck. She saw me and came to grab me by the arm and pull me out of the truck. She told me to wait in her car while she ran back to yell at the man. I was extremely confused at first.
Did you get the
Man in
ice cream though? That's like the main
sped off
concern.
down the street. This was a time before cell phones. She couldn't just call 911 right away.
It's more
She ran to the nearest
important than
taxi.
getting
At first I was
kidnapped.
confused, but obviously I know now she was asking for the owner's phone. She called 911, and I'm sure she reported a suspicious ice cream truck and detected kidnapping. I don't remember the rest, except telling Margie my story, her driving me home to be greeted by my dad and cop cars, and then being told to go inside after telling a couple police
Okay.
officers
Yes,
what
I
happened.
Okay.
The exact ice cream truck was found. I'm not sure how they did it. Maybe by investigating
Okay.
street camera footage and getting the plate number. It was made to confirm the driver was in fact the man who took me into the truck. He was sentenced to prison. That's all my parents told me. I don't think they know his name. Either that or they didn't want to give it to me. Definitely not a memory I like thinking back on.
Yeah, me. I don't think anyone would.
Up until I was 28, I used to live with my parents in Camden, Maine.
28.
Town. They were hardly ever home because of work. and
So that's
just traveled
Elliot's
a lot.
mic.
So I'd hold down the fort a lot. My parents' property is large and private, so when they weren't home, I'd often throw little parties. This was one of those nights. I had maybe 15 to 20 people over, and we all hung out in the backyard. It started around 6 p.m., and people started leaving around 11 p.m. By midnight, everyone was gone, and I was absolutely shot from a mixture of having been in the sun most of the day and then drinking since around 6. I changed and got into bed. Before I could even fall asleep, though, I heard something one would not expect to hear this late at night. It was the sound of an ice cream truck, only it was a tune I'd never heard before. I kind of creepy sounding one. The tune got louder until it seemed to be right outside. I lay there waiting a minute or two for it to go away, but when it didn't, I finally got up and went to the window to look outside. I couldn't see anything from my bedroom, so I went downstairs and looked out the living room window. I could vaguely see what had to be an ice cream truck out on the lawn. My heart started pounding the inside of my chest. Who was it? Why were they here? What did they want?
Do you want me? I could do one free
I
ice
stayed around the
cream.
living room for a bit, not knowing whether to call the police or my dad, or just simply wait for them
But
to
that's
leave.
his backyard.
The awful tune of the
That's
ice
at
cream
night.
truck didn't
That's
stop,
at night.
though. It grew sicker.
Because he was.
I ended up finally snapping and going out the front.
Because. So basically, he was out. His friends were at his house because his mum and dad was away. He was having a party with his friends, and yeah.
Party.
And they were in the backyard, so that's why. Continue.
Oh.
Yeah?
Oh my god, hi! No, doesn't matter. Oh. I just heard a knock on my door.
Is it the post? Is it the postman?
No, this is what I heard.
Is it the same ice cream man from the store? Well, I don't even know. I don't even know if it even isn't what.
It's actually an ice cream truck.
Andrew, you're
It just
screwed.
went on my road.
Andrew, you're screwed. Bye.
Door to the porch.
Oh,
There, I
great.
could more clearly see the ice cream truck parked on our property, like a little less than 100 feet away.
Andrew,
I can't do.
Yeah?
by the way, there's a new Facebook post out.
Yeah, it's updated.
Andrew, I don't.
It's only a small
Yeah, I
update,
might
pretty sure.
get tomorrow. Good luck!
Andrew, we can't really do it from our current position.
Nope.
Because everyone doesn't know where you live. It'll take me too long to run over to your house. You're dead. Bye.
Porch. It was parked on the grass. It wasn't exactly a typical looking ice cream truck. It was like a white van
Andrew,
with
show
ice
this
cream
small update.
pictures stamped or painted on.
We
It
had
was a mix of
200
confused and worried, mostly
Big
worried.
bite.
That's small, it's not big.
Saying it was an abnormal sight would be a gross understatement. I stepped onto the grass with my bare feet and walked just a little closer to the van. The headlights weren't on, so when I got close enough, I saw there was no one in the driver's seat. When I got even closer, I saw one of the sliding doors on the side was open. I suddenly felt as though I could be jumped at any second. I looked around me in a panic, then ran back inside the house and locked the door. Now I did call 911, and I asked them to please hurry. The woman asked me to walk around the house and check to make sure everything was locked. I started for the main floor and worked down to the den to the back door. The glass panel on the back door was shattered. It was unlocked and opened. I whispered this to the 911 operator, even though I was truly freaking out inside. She told me to go to a room with a lockable door and wait there until officers arrived. So I tiptoed to the nearest bathroom and locked the door. The operator told me to stay on the line and be quiet. A few moments later, someone on the other side of the door tried turning the doorknob. Then they banged on the door 3 times. The woman on the phone said quietly that she heard it, and for me to remain quiet and calm. Then I heard the back door to the house slam shut, and half a minute later, the tune of the ice cream truck slowly faded away as the van was driven off. I told the woman, and she said to wait until officers arrived. They took a disgustingly long time to arrive. I was waiting in that bathroom for another 5 minutes.
No, it's not
They
3%.
arrived in a timely manner. They could have caught whoever was at my parents' house. Instead, all that happened was I got a police report. My personal theory is the ice cream truck tune was supposed to be a distraction or something, while one of the people in it broke into the house. Because I'm sure there were more than one person in that van.
Andrew, do you know, go,
I'm happy
go
this happened to me
quicker
when I was
if you're not
23
GTA.
and not, say, 10 years old.
You know,
Because that would have traumatized me.
we can see you tomorrow. If
Okay, last saw this video.
okay.
This happened a long time ago. I was in the 6th grade. People used to call me Jimmy until around high school. There was this ice cream truck that would always drive down my block once a day in the warmer months. The driver got to know me on a more personal level. He knew my name and I knew his, Bernard. I'd go outside for ice cream so often that he'd slow down or sometimes even stop for a minute in front of my house waiting for me to come outside, knowing I was a frequent customer. Anytime I buy ice cream from his truck, I'd always get the same Oreo ice cream cup.
Oh, my
He'd
G.
always stop and talk to me for a few
My
minutes.
guy.
Sometimes he'd give me free ice cream. There was this one Friday, though.
That's something I would
remember
do.
it was a Friday because it was the start of the weekend that my parents were going away. On this Friday, Bernard once again passed my house, and it was one of the days that I went outside to buy from him. On this day, though, he gave it to me for free again.
Free?
Because of that, I stuck around and chatted with him for a while. He asked me how things were going and whatnot, and I told him I was excited to have the house to myself for the weekend. He was surprised that I would have the house to myself at such a young age. He said I was lucky and to enjoy, and he drove off, and the truck eventually disappeared along with the music. The rest of the story is the part that you may not even believe. I stayed up late in my room because my parents weren't home. I was playing video games on my computer.
What game were you playing?
The sound of
Are you playing
Bernard's
Fortnite, geezer?
It didn't start from a distance.
Well, probably not,
Slowly
because
getting louder.
this took place a very long
Then
time
he
ago, so
seemed to
probably
turn
not,
up
but...
right outside my house. I went to my window and saw the truck right outside, playing the music at this late hour of the night, past midnight. It had to be Bernard, but what was he doing? The music suddenly stopped, and the truck's lights turned off. I opened my window a crack just to listen for what might be going on. Just the sound of crickets, until I saw Bernard appear from the darkness, quickly approaching my window, yelling, "Jimmy." He stopped when his face basically banged into my window, and he started telling me to come outside. He told me I could get all the free ice cream I wanted, but the way he was speaking,
Hold on, is there any...
Oh, you're like gonna get loads of free ice cream.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep it like this for the rest of the video, but don't worry, you're not really missing much.
he seemed off.
All you need
Seemed
is
like
the
he was
audio.
on something. His movements were spastic and sporadic.
Spastic?
He then tried pulling my window further open aggressively, and I screamed and yanked it closed. He started knocking on the window, and I screamed and begged him to leave or I'm calling the cops. When I said that, he turned around and ran back to his truck. The lights turned back on, and he drove off into the night without the music playing. I was so scared I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to call my parents, and I was scared to call the cops. I just locked my bedroom door and tried to go to
Scared
sleep.
to call the cop.
It was a long night before I fell.
So basically, he's scared of his parents because he wants to spend the house. He wants the house alone to himself, and he doesn't want to call the cops. I don't know why.
Asleep. Bernard never returned to my block after that. But anytime I hear an ice cream truck passing by, I get paranoid it was him.
That was it anyway. I don't care, fam. More horror stories. Okay. Oh, Stephen.
Okay then.
Shut up, you scared. Wanna take this outside, fam?
Oh, shut up.
No. Okay, more horror stories. Here we go. Ah! Bloody no.
It's a bit loud, Callum.
What is it now? Nah. Turn it down before the video actually starts.
For the past 3 years or so, I've worked as an overnight security guard at a mall.
Oh,
It
you're
used to be that the mall didn't require an overnight person, but vandalism started to become a problem. Most of the time I would drive around the parking lot all night listening to my car radio. Now and then I'd kick some skateboarders out of the parking lot or investigate a suspicious person lurking about. Other than that, I'd say the job was pretty tame.
Okay, I'm gonna go make myself another drink.
I experienced something a little
You
bit
two take
stranger.
over. Mate, can you still hear
I noticed
this?
that the light to one of the shops was
Yeah.
on while driving around the parking lot.
Okay, hold on. I'm just trying to get my
Surprising
control
to me,
from
considering
Tangle
no
from
one
my
had
chair.
snuck past me as of yet.
Okay.
So of course,
You
I
should
parked
take
the
over.
car and headed inside the mall to catch the potential thieves. As I approached the shop, I didn't hear the sound of anyone rummaging through the inventory. Sure enough, the shop was empty. As a matter of fact, even the security gate was still down. Only the shop owners had access to the security gates, so I couldn't really do anything about the light being on. I headed back out to my car. I'd say an hour went by with no incident, But as I was circling around the entrance to the mall, I saw another light was on inside. Inside the mall, it was the same scene repeated. The light was onto the shop, but the security gate was still closed. I even tugged on the damn thing to see if someone heard me coming and just hid from me. Nope, it was locked. I heard a click from behind me while investigating. The previous light was no longer on. Maybe it was my mind playing tricks on me, but I swear I saw someone run behind the counter and hide. I think about now is a good time to mention I was running on 3 hours of sleep for the past 48 hours, and I was blaming these occurrences just simply on the lack of sleep. I shined my flashlight into the shop and scanned the area. Nothing that I could see. Behind me was another click. Once again, the light to the shop was off, and this time I know I saw someone standing in there. So I simply called out, "You can either leave with me or you can leave with the police." They didn't move, just stood next to the light switch. I approached the gate and turned my light in the direction of the light switch, and there was no one standing there. I did see that a clothes rack was fairly close to the switch, so maybe the light was catching the clothes just right and was casting a shadow. That was the most logical explanation I could think of, at least. I left the mall. I was pretty spooked from the events of that night, but after a few months, they were pretty much out of my mind. My patrols were nothing special for a while after that. I think my next incident happened around my 1-year anniversary as a guard. It was winter, and I was inside of the mall checking the pipes. Yes, I was on security duty, but the owners decided to save a buck by having me inspect certain things as well. It was whatever. I was heading to one of the bathrooms to relieve myself when I heard a toilet flush. I jumped a little more than I would like to admit. Inside of the bathroom, I didn't see anyone.
Toilet flush.
The toilets in the mall were motion activated, much like every other mall in the world. I checked all the stalls, empty. I'll spare you the details, but after checking the stalls, I took a seat in one of them. I had a YouTube video playing on my phone while I was sitting. Then I heard a tapping sound coming from the stall next to me.
Oh, great.
I glanced to my left and saw a pair of shoes standing with the toes pointing towards me. Slowly, I brought my eyes up above the stall.
Whoa.
Sure enough, there was the tallest man
What do you
I've
know?
ever seen, standing over the stall, staring down at me.
Ah!
I had not already been on the toilet.
I can't be arsed.
What happened?
I just pissed myself.
Some kind of got scared.
So did you.
I don't.
Oh, I can't be
Calm, you
arsed.
scared?
I can't be arsed.
Calm, you scared?
Yeah, if you saw what me and Andrew saw then, yes, you would be.
I'm watching.
Oh,
so...
God. I can see you on the stream.
No, you can
Oh,
see. You can't
just
see.
got to
You can't see
just
the.
sit on the chair.
You can't see the audio.
Calm down.
You can't see like what we're looking at.
What?
You can't see like what we're looking at.
I can't.
You can't. And you're not even watching the stream.
Hang on.
Are you actually?
Yeah? Now you just sat down back in your chair.
Yeah. This is what I'm looking at. Hello, geezer. Oh, I can't be arsed.
Oh, that's what you saw.
Yeah, that scared me. And Andrew. Right, I'm going to have a quick check for the rest of this video. Like, is this still story 1 or story 2?
I think this is one. I think.
Well, I'm just seeing if there's any more like imagery. There's like 606, and a little bit there. There's basically like kind
It's
of.
basically like...
I would have been running home for new pants. When he saw me notice him, he ducked back down beneath the stall. I hopped up and kicked in the door to the neighboring stall. The damn thing was empty, except for a pair of shoes sitting in the same spot I had seen them. My heart was thumping like crazy.
Woo!
I went back to my car as quickly as possible after that. If I remember correctly, this happened at around 4 in the morning. Once again, I credited all of this to my lack of sleep. I was just happy that I had the next day off.
Good lad. That's not the scariest story yet.
Yeah.
That was weird.
My friend and I once went to the infamous
You're weird.
abandoned Rolling Acres Mall in Akron, Ohio.
Thanks.
I'll call my friend Jake for this story. for
Jack,
the
you got
purposes.
good Jack.
We went at like 11 o'clock at night on a Wednesday night, since we didn't have school the next day.
On a Wednesday
We snuck in through some door which
evening.
had been jammed in by previous visitors. It was completely pitch black in there, obviously. We turned out our flashlights for a few seconds just to really take
Welcome
in how
to
dark
the
it was.
Wednesday
Explored the
morning.
lower level, then went up to the second level by climbing up an escalator. As we were shining the flashlights into old closed-off stores, we heard a bang-like sound come from further down this upper level.
I'm just gonna skip to mine.
I got scared and asked Jake if it could be security or cops. He said he doubted it, probably just more people like us exploring. But we did still try to move in the opposite
I'm just giving it to
direction
my
for the
view,
sound,
just in
just
case.
in case.
Okay.
We were right by the JCPenney in the mall when we heard another similar bang-like sound like from before, this time louder and closer. Jake and I turned off our flashlights now just to be safe.
Love you, man.
We didn't know who that could be.
Mad in my
With our
camp.
lights out, we did the best we could to make a little distance between
Oh,
us
that's the
and
moon.
sound without banging into walls or anything.
That's the moon.
Suddenly, I heard a... It came from a little further in front of me. It was kind of muffled, too. So I assumed it was Jake calling me ahead. I
I'll
kept
put your
hearing him
tongue
going,
down.
Oh, be quiet.
so I kept following the sound of it.
I'm like
When I
5
got close enough,
behind
I whispered
on the
to Jake,
stream.
"Where do we go now?" He didn't answer. So I started feeling around for him, and I found what I believed to be his shoulder. Only the fabric of the jacket I felt did not match the
Oh, wait a minute.
fabric of the coat I knew Jake was wearing. I turned on the flashlight and screamed when I looked up and saw the person I was holding onto wasn't Jake, but rather some tall guy wearing a beanie and a face mask. The man grabbed me and put me in a headlock as he tried dragging me.
Hey,
Jake
oh,
came out
on
from the darkness and landed one clean punch to the man's face, which gave me just enough time to take off as he
Bye.
Jake and I ran to the same place we came in from. When we got outside, we continued running until we got to the car. We didn't stop to catch our breath just yet, though. Jake booked it out of the abandoned parking lot, and only then did we feel relief. I gave Jake a firm handshake as I laughed and caught my breath, thanking him for potentially saving my life.
Good lad, mate. Adverts. Yeah, this is story 3 now. I don't care, fam. You're interrupting my video. Stop plugging your merch.
I used to work in a 24/7 general store at a mall in South
Let me just see if there's like any not like scary imagery. Well, there's one right there, but it's not that much scary. Okay, so we're good.
Carolina. So while the mall itself would close around 9:30, our store would stay open all night.
Oh, yeah, I
There
don't
were
know.
2 entrances to the store, one from inside the actual mall itself, and then a back door that people could enter through after the mall closed. Past 9:30, I would always have to shut the gate, separating the store from the mall. Given that this was a smaller store, it was never really busy in the deep night hours, which also made my job very uneventful most of the time. But there was one night shift that turned out to be anything but uneventful.
You're uneventful.
It was towards the middle of my shift. The gate between the store and the mall was down, but I could still see through it, obviously, into the dark half-lit hallway of the mall. The mall always had night lights on, which were much dimmer, but bright enough for the security guards to see what's going on in the cameras. I was doing my own thing, organizing the shelves, making sure everything was neat, when I heard a rattle at the metal cage. I looked and saw some guy standing on the other side, grasping the gate with his hands. At first, I
Hello,
thought it was the
geezer.
security guard on duty. It was the only logical explanation, even though it was rare to ever see them walking around. But as I got closer and asked if there was a problem, I realized it wasn't a security guard.
He's stuck.
It was just some random man.
He's stuck.
He was wearing a dirty black and white plaid shirt and very baggy blue jeans.
Help this geezer out. He's
Most
stuck.
notably, though, what made this exceptionally strange was that he was just looking up at the ceiling. I inched a little closer and again asked if something was wrong.
Yo,
and if he
geezer.
needed help, but he just kept looking
Are you
up
stuck?
and shaking the gate. Now, there was some kind of protocol I was supposed to follow in the case of something like this in order to get the mall security. However, I didn't know how. I didn't know what number to dial. I didn't know how to work any kind of intercoms.
The cops.
So all I could really do was shut it out. I turned my back to the creepy man and went back to my register behind the counter, as far away from him as possible. Unfortunately, the shelves are angled perpendicularly to the counter, not parallel, so the man at the gate was in direct line of sight for me still. He finally seemed to back away, like literally walked backwards though, with his head still up at the ceiling. All that was going through my mind
Is there like a battle
was
there or
where could
something?
security be? It was to my understanding that there would be at least one person watching the cameras at night. Anyway, I tried to just move past it, resuming my cleaning activities. I couldn't help but look back outside to the mall every once in a while though. Thankfully, he was gone now. Eventually, someone came into the shop. I heard the back door slide open. I was in between two shelves and couldn't see them, so I continued with my work. After finishing up sweeping the aisle, I went back to the register to wait for the customer. I saw the customer now. They were standing at the end of the last aisle to the left, the alcohol aisle. He was looking up. At first I thought he was looking
Why?
at the top shelf, so I looked away. I only looked at him for maybe a second. I bent down under the counter to put the broom and dustpan underneath. And when I stood back up to look at the customer, I felt like my heart nearly stopped. He was looking at me with
It was
a
the
smile.
same dude again.
Not a grin, but a wide lip smile. It also sank in right away now that this was the same man that was out in the mall from earlier. Only now he'd apparently taken off his black and white plaid shirt. I stared at him and he stared at me. And I think this went on for 30 seconds. I didn't know what to do. And I had actually frozen up in fear. The face he gave, the smile, a look of horror. Something straight from a horror film or someone's nightmares. I felt like he stared into my soul. I opened my mouth to speak, and my voice trembled. I think I said, "Get out or I'm calling the cops." He didn't move. He didn't even bat an eye. I ran to the back room and locked the door so I could call my manager. She wouldn't pick up
Dude,
after several
help.
attempts, though. When I gave up, I heard a tap at the door. Not a knock, just a very gentle tap.
That's not a tap,
I sat
mate.
like a nervous wreck in that back room for a good
That's
5
a real-
minutes, wanting to be anywhere but there. But when the fear of this person stealing a bunch of items and losing my job became greater than the actual fear of the person, I stepped back outside and looked around. But the man was gone. He was gone for good this time. Our shop has cameras, so they caught all of it. When my shift ended, I told my manager about what happened and showed her the video footage. She was shocked and kind of freaked out herself. I only worked there for another month after that, then moved on.
That was something. Alright, what videos is there to watch now? That's right. Okay, so there's 3 disturbing true school stories or wait, Mr. Nightmare. We'll just turn this around. We see an older selection over here. Ew. There's 3. I can't be asked for that, to be honest. Right. I can't really see any other stories. Ooh, retail stories. What the hell is that? I'm talking.
I have no idea what that means.
Never do I. Oh yeah. I watched this in Sunday stream. Oh God. Am I gonna watch? Should I watch Home Alone? I don't know if I can get. I'll get a bit too scared or not. Let's go. Let's do it.
It's better, yeah, get scared all the time.
I just want to see if there's like any like scary imagery before we actually start.
Okay.
Not so. Yeah, so like 10 minutes in. Yes, 13 minutes in.
So 10, 30.
And 15 minutes in, and that's pretty much it. So we're
10,
gonna have,
13, and 15.
yeah, you have to remind me about that. That's your goal throughout these. Oh yeah, turn around. I don't mind view.
I live in Sydney, Australia.
That's nice.
This happened when I was 15.
I didn't ask my
It
kangaroo.
was about 9 p.m. and I was just coming out of the bathroom.
Elliot,
My
you still
front
there,
door
donkey?
opened And my dog began barking.
Yeah.
Elliot, how are you?
Across the hall.
Speak more,
I saw
donkey.
someone run past the porch window into
Okay.
the backyard. I was able to vaguely make out what he looked like. He was hunched over, had sickly pale skin, was wearing all black, and had long, messy black hair partially covering his face.
Oh
I
yeah.
went into the living room to see what was going on. My dog was still at the front door growling. Since I hadn't seen the guy return, this meant he was still somewhere in my backyard. I waited at the door for a while, when another, more normal-looking guy walked onto the porch and came right up to the security bars. I don't remember all the details, but our conversation went something along the lines of him saying, "Hey, have you seen my friend?" And I replied, "Yeah, I think he's in my backyard." He replied saying, "Okay, because I've been following this random guy all over the place. I think he's on drugs and might be dangerous."
You just said your friend.
It struck me as weird though. What did he mean by this random guy when he had just called him his friend? He quickly walked away, going off into the darkness towards my yard. I should also mention that there's a door around back. That also has security bars in front of it, and the door was locked at the time. I waited at the front door for a bit, then sat back down. After about 2 minutes of waiting, the guy I spoke with walked back onto the porch and looked in through the security bars. He now had the pale, potentially drugged out guy with him, who was pacing back and forth in an agitated manner. I went to the door to see what he wanted. He said, "Hey, sorry man, I just found him. Look, he's really nervous. We'd like if you unlocked the door and came out here, just so he could see that you're harmless."
Oh yeah. Why would you do that?
The creepy, drugged out guy had stopped pacing now.
I
He was
have
standing
no idea.
unnaturally
You
still,
could have frostbite. You could be chilly
staring into
outside.
my eyes. There was an uncomfortable silence. I didn't say anything, but stepped forward to push the French door shut, causing the second guy to lunge at me and shove his hand through the bars towards me. I jumped back and slammed the door shut with my foot, bolting it. I called my parents, and they called the police. The two men had gone. When the police arrived, they told me about a break-in that had occurred just down the street less than an hour ago. As far as I know, they never found the two guys.
Oh, for God's sake.
Looking back, it's likely that the first guy ran into the backyard to try to find a way in, and the second guy went to help him, which is why they were back there for so long. What disturbs me is the fact that they didn't want to just break in, nor did the fact that I was home deter them. They wanted me to come outside to them, or to get into where I was.
Bloody hell. I hate when this happens. I hate when they never find the two geezers or whatever, whoever's done whatever.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday night. My
These
mom was
geezers
working
never have a
night shift
happy
at the
ending.
hospital. My two brothers were away at college, so for the time being, I had the house to myself.
Ooh, that's nice.
I had a couple friends over. We watched a baseball game, had a few beers, and they left.
We've been alive for like an hour,
I went upstairs to
an
the
hour
kitchen
and
to
20
put the
minutes,
remainder of the
24
beers in the
minutes.
fridge and get ready for bed.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I went to bed shortly after.
That doesn't seem an hour, like...
After a while of laying
Do you
down
think it's
trying
been
to
like an
actually
hour and
fall
24 minutes or
asleep,
not?
I heard light
It feels like
footsteps coming up the
24
stairs
minutes.
outside my room. My mom was home.
It's not felt like that for
I
me.
heard her cough as she passed my bedroom door
Boy,
and
how
entered the
long has it
bathroom.
fair for you?
Then she went back downstairs
Like
to the kitchen.
five,
and
like
started
20
making a lot
minutes.
of racket with the cabinets and dishes and
Yeah,
whatnot.
like tray 4-ish,
I
yeah.
was way too lazy to get out of bed to
Oh,
go down
you
there and
stupid
ask her to
geezer.
keep it down. So I just texted her instead to stop making so much noise. I put my phone back
Wait a minute, did I?
on my desk and flipped on my
I'm
side,
just gonna switch
trying
over
get
to my
comfortable.
view just in case people might get scared.
Then I heard footsteps coming back upstairs. Quickly, my bedroom door opened, and my mom stepped into my room. The hallway light outside my room wasn't on, so I couldn't make eye contact with my mom. But when I looked up, I saw my mom's figure. She stood by the doorway, looking kind of slouched over.
Can't say that even is her. Like,
I told her to stop making so much damn noise.
I don't think
and
that
grabbed
is
her
his
to my
mother,
phone.
geezers.
When she didn't respond, I sat up and said, Mom? The
Mommy.
vibration on my desk let me know I got a text. And given that it was pretty late, I naturally checked my phone to see who it was. It was from my mom. She said, I'm still at work.
Be what?
Stop.
So the mum stepped up work, so
That-
who's the...
I don't know that. Well, it's not. It's not obviously his mum, then, is it? It's someone that broke in.
Guys, you might have to end it.
Why?
So they give him a tea.
Hold on. We've got like. We got 11 minutes left.
Of
This video.
well, I'm going for my tea now because it's done now.
Okay. Well, you already spoke anyway, so
Okay, thank you.
we could just wait for you anyway because we'll probably still be live anyway. But
Okay.
eat it quick.
Yeah, okay.
Shove it down your throat. Get me down, sugar.
No, thank you.
I'm joking, but yeah, come back whenever. Okay, Andrew, ready?
Yep.
Go.
I
Yes,
dropped
I
my
am.
phone onto my bed as I looked up at the doorway. That person standing at my doorway wasn't my mom.
Well, obviously not.
Even though I was panicking, I had to think on my feet.
You weren't on your feet
Mom,
though.
I need to get to sleep. Get out. I said this because I wanted to play dumb. Act like I had no suspicion that someone had broken in. The person at my doorway didn't move. So I picked up my phone, texted my mom in a panic, saying there's someone in the house. I mistook them for her and to call the police right now. My mom replied back, okay, in a matter of seconds. Something then broke the silence in the room. The voice of a woman, crackly and rough. She started saying something. It sounded to me like she was saying, don't know where to go, over and over.
I know where you can go. To hell.
I realized she was approaching the bed.
I know where you can go. Hell.
To get back as I fumbled for the lamp switch next to my bed. As the light turned on, I was faced with some old woman with white, wiry hair. With her wrinkled hands reached out at me, approaching my bed, repeating that phrase, don't know where to go.
Yeah, I know where you can go. Out of my goddamn house.
It seemed as though she was about to attack me. I jumped off the bed and ran out of the room and held my door shut. Seconds later, I felt her trying to push the door open as I put all my weight up against it to keep it shut. She started screaming, I need to get out, and started banging on the
Well,
door.
why did you even come in the first place
I held
then?
this position for the longest time, and she was relentless. My mom kept calling my phone, but I couldn't pick it up. It wasn't until the cops arrived and knocked on the front door that I let go of the bedroom door and ran to them. The old woman immediately came rushing after me, but as I opened the door and yelled at the cops to stop her, they immediately pinned her against the wall. She was in cuffs and was put in the police car. I told them everything that happened.
Good lad.
I said based on how she was behaving and what I told them, she would need to be identified and evaluated to determine if she was mentally ill.
She's
And
mentally
later turned
insane,
out she
mate.
was, to no surprise. I found out later that night after the cops left that after my friends left through the back door, I forgot to lock it. That was how she managed to simply walk into my house.
Oh, great.
You
Definitely scarred me
stupid.
mentally in the sense that anytime I hear something in my room while sleeping, I have to look up and make sure somebody isn't standing on the other side.
That's a bit stupid, isn't it? Who forgets to lock the door? That's like the first thing you should do. It was like yesterday when, like, after the stream, Ryan left, and I locked the door, like, as soon as he left. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. Otherwise, no one will walk into your house, innit? Okay, next story.
Okay.
I just try and tap it, like, slightly, because I don't want to knock my phone off, because it's in a good position. It takes ages to put it back up, because it takes ages to do it, because it happened before, in other streams.
Before moving off on my own to California, I lived basically in the middle of nowhere on my dad's ranch in Colorado.
But that's big.
It was a beautiful, huge property. I just never loved living in a rural setting. I found it boring.
You found it boring? You could do, like, so much cool stuff with it.
Creepy things happened in the middle of nowhere. There had been a number of times that people had trespassed on our property, which is why my dad owned 3 different guns. There was one time he had to chase 2 men off the property with his rifle. What I'm about to tell you happened a few years back. I think it was in the middle of June. I was home alone as my parents were on vacation together, and my little brother was out with friends or at his girlfriend's house.
Let me just have a look and see if there's any, like, scary imagery. Yes, there is. So I'm just doing that. So, purposing. So I can shoot tonight, or you can shoot tonight. We're all good. Well, probably I'm not, because I'm still looking at it, but why not?
I used to go to sleep.
It's my own sleep schedule. I don't care if it's
It
screwed.
was around 1 in the morning. I was still in the living room watching TV when I noticed the motion sensing patio light turn on outside.
1 hour,
This light would
31,
only
32
turn on
minutes.
because very noticeable.
What?
We've been recording for 1 hour and 32 minutes.
No, it's 31 minutes, Rogers. Close, you're close, but not quite. We started like 2 minutes to 7.
Movement by a person.
Okay.
Because we're now 5 even, because it's not even 7 o'clock yet.
To be safe, I got up and looked out the window.
We'll try and go for 2 hours of
I didn't
this.
see anyone though.
Because that's what the last 2 streams were.
I took out my cell phone and called my brother.
But I want to reach Elliot come back first before we end the stream.
So I went to sit back down.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's been in the stream from the very beginning.
The knocking at the front door. Our door had a peephole because obviously anyone coming to our house went out of their way to get there. So we'd need to know who was there.
My eyes are
before
super
we
wide.
opened the
What
door.
the hell?
When I went to go
My eyes are
peek
so
through
wide. What the
peephole,
hell?
I didn't see anyone. So I'm
Yeah.
immediately thinking ding dong ditch. Possibly some local punky kids, possibly my brother. I was hoping the second was the case. I shut the blinds now because I became paranoid that I was being watched. I shot my brother a text saying if I find out it's you, I'm not letting you in. Moments later, there was a knock right behind my head. So loud I actually jumped off the couch. It was a knock at the living room window, followed by what I can best describe to be 2 voices. One a deep male voice, one a higher pitched female voice, saying "We see you" simultaneously. Heart racing. I imagined it to
I
be
see
the
you
most
too.
wishful thing I could think of. That it was my little brother and his girlfriend messing with me. In the moment it made sense. Or maybe I just wanted
I
it to
can
make
see your
sense.
face. You're like, oh my
The
god,
banging on the
what's
window didn't
happening?
stop there.
I need a pillow again like I did yesterday's
But it
stream.
moved to another
Oh, I've got a
window.
teddy bear.
This time
No,
the
I've got a
window
teddy
was
bear just in
an
case
angle.
of it.
I didn't shut
I got a
the
teddy
door.
bear just in case of emergencies.
From the angle I was standing at,
Yeah.
I could see 2 figures at the window.
I've had this since I was like,
No chance could I see
since I was
anything
born,
about
so
their faces. I didn't look at them as I ran upstairs to my dad's room to get one of
I've had this
his
since I was born,
clothes
so
from the
of course I was not gonna throw it
bed. He
out.
told
Of
me
course I wasn't.
exactly where he kept it just in case of an emergency.
Of course I wasn't.
I loaded the rifle and ran downstairs to the dining room window. But they weren't standing there anymore.
I'm just gonna keep it on my
With a
voice.
loaded gun, I felt a lot more confident in opening that front door and going
I'm not gonna
outside
throw
to confront
my
the
teddy bear
situation.
out. He's my G. I've had him since I was born.
When I stepped outside, I
Wow.
decided
We've been
I'd
walking
do
for
one
2
full
years.
quick lap around the house.
No,
and check on the
14
cat.
years even.
There was
2
no
years.
marksman, but I had the protective instincts for the property, and I was ready to use the gun if I needed to. The whole property seemed clear, and the cattle were fine. So I went back inside, checked every door, and went to bed upstairs.
Night night. Night night, little dude.
For half an hour, peace and quiet, until I heard a disturbing sound come from downstairs and outside.
Oh
Someone
my
was frantically
god.
pounding
I think
on
someone's
the
dead.
front door downstairs, accompanied with a man shouting at the top of his lungs. not shouting words or anything, just screaming. I ran to the living room window, pushed it open, and fired around outside into the dark night. The screaming and pounding stopped, and I heard 2 sets of footsteps quickly stomp off the wooden porch. And then there was nothing but the sound of the night crickets. The rest of the night, nothing happened. Actually, nothing ever happened again until I moved out. But it was not my brother and his girlfriend. I found out the next day. My dad was proud of me when he heard I protected the property. I'm just grateful my dad has those guns, and I only agreed with his owning them even more after that.
Adverts again.
Stupid adverts.
He's annoying.
Yeah.
And it's just frozen on me.
Oh, great.
Oh no, it hasn't. No adverts. You know, Richie said adverts coming up, but it wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't. Let's turn it around again.
I was home alone one night in the spring. I was on a FaceTime call with my friend, at one point pacing back and forth in my room. When I passed the window and looked outside at one point, I saw someone outside on the street, just standing there, facing my house, facing my window. I looked a little more carefully and determined he was looking up right at my window. I told my friend Jordan on the FaceTime call and tried to show her.
You down, G?
She said she couldn't see him, but to call my mom and dad. So I hung up with Jordan and
Bye.
continued to look out at the man for a few more seconds. Then I walked away from the window to my bed and called my mom. I had woken her up because it was like midnight. In short, she told me to just turn off my lights and shut the blind and he would go away. So that's what I did. But after a few minutes of dying in curiosity, I had to get up, lift the blinds, and peek outside. The man was now on the sidewalk, closer to my house, still looking up at my window. Now I called the police. The operator asked me if the man was holding any weapons. I said not that I could tell. The operator then told me to ignore it, and if he didn't leave within 10 minutes, or if he stepped onto my property, to call the police again. She also told me that a patrol car would pass by my house just to scare off the man should he still be out there.
Boo.
So I hung up the phone and crawled into my bed. I called my friend Jordan back, and we talked on FaceTime while I was in my bed for about 5 minutes. She told me it was time to go check the window again, and so I did. And this time, the man was gone. I stood by the window with the blinds now up, waiting for the police car to come to my house. It took about 5 to 10 minutes of standing there on FaceTime with Jordan before I saw a police patrol car come down the block, stop briefly in front of my house, and a little spotlight on the side of the car being moved around my property and a few neighboring properties. The cop car drove away soon after, and that was that. That told me the man was gone, not on my property. So after finishing my FaceTime call with Jordan, we hung up and I went to bed. After laying in my bed for a solid 20 minutes, I heard a creaking or a cracking-like sound coming from outside. I got out of bed and looked out the window, but no one was there. So again, I went back to bed. A few more minutes went by, and there was another cracking sound coming from outside, this time louder.
I'm not looking. Peace.
I looked over to the window from my bed.
I'm turning it
I
down.
was in total shock when I saw a figure at my
La
window.
la 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 la.
I have an upstairs bedroom, and suddenly the cracking noises made sense. He had been climbing up the side of my house. I went to the other window and screamed help over and over, hoping my neighbors would hear. I also got the phone with 911 again and told them to send another car right away. The man at my window attempted to squeeze through the opening
are you
window,
scared?
but seemingly gave up
A little
when I
bit.
noticed one of my
You
neighbors
geezer got his
outside
teddy bear.
yelling something. The next time I looked at the window, he was gone. And according to my elderly neighbor who came to my aid, the man jumped down and ran away down the street.
Go.
Cops came once again. This time I spoke to them and gave them all the info they needed. They said they'd be patrolling the immediate area all night and went on their way. I didn't get any sleep that night, but I think that man was scared off for good.
Well, that was just great, wasn't it? I found my first horror story I watched in these videos. Fortnite horror stories. could watch that next. Actually, let's watch it, because why not? I've not watched it since that video.
Okay.
I'm sure by now we all know what Fortnite is.
Yes.
I had known about it for the longest time, but I never actually played it until my friends basically forced me to download it and play with them. They wanted to play in squads, which is what it's called when you play groups of 4. My 4 friends were Evan, Xavier, and Braxton. Evan was hands down the best player and basically the initiator of this group match. Xavier was the second best. Then there was Braxton. Braxton only spoke on his headset when he was in trouble or needed help.
Yo, geez, that's pretty
Evan,
much.
Xavier, and I on
They
the
both
other
were
hand just
18.
goofed around and talked the whole time. The two of them did their best to explain how to play to me over the headset. Anyway, none of this really matters. I'll skip ahead to the important part. Evan stopped talking, and there was a good 10 seconds of silence. Then Evan, who was leading us from one point to another, stopped dead in his tracks. His character just stood still for a while. Xavier turned on his headset, sounding annoyed, telling Evan to move. His character still just stood in place, and Evan said nothing. But according to the screen, Evan's mic was making noise. And I could hear background noise that seemed to be coming from Evan's mic. Xavier, Braxton, and I were all telling Evan to move or we'd ditch him. But we all dropped silent when a horrific, almost painfully loud screaming came from Evan's mic.
That's good.
Screaming into the mic. It seemed like Evan
Course
was
it
somewhere
was.
in the background of the room.
You're playing Grand Theft
Door slammed
Auto.
shut in the background, and the 3 of us were left not knowing what to say.
Playing
or do.
GTA.
I told the 2 of them I'd call Evan immediately and turned off the console. I tried calling him 5 times. He never picked up though, so I decided to drive over to his house, which was 2 minutes away. I got to his house and saw no cars in the driveway, but the front door was open and the lights were on throughout the house. I let myself in, screaming Evan's name.
You're
Evan
Evan.
screamed back from somewhere upstairs.
You're Evan.
I followed the sound of his voice right up to the loft bedroom, where I found him hiding under the bed.
Oh, calm down.
He told me to hide. I told him to get out from under the bed and tell me what happened. He said there was someone in his bedroom. He would speak in very limited sentences for the longest time.
Is there something
until he
that pops
calmed
up
down
here?
and would
Yep.
finally explain in detail. As Evan was playing Fortnite with us, he felt a tap under his bed. He pulled the cloth material that covered the sides of the bed up and looked under the bed and saw a grown man hiding underneath. That's when he threw his headset on the bed and screamed as he backed into the corner.
I'm just gonna switch
He
back
said the man
when,
emerged
you know,
from under the bed as
when
Evan
his
was still
geezer's hand
paralyzed
get
in fear
out of
in
my
the corner,
screen.
screaming. Then the man walked straight out the bedroom door, and that was the last we ever saw of him. At that moment, he didn't know if the man was still in the house or not, so we called the cops, not knowing what else to do. When they showed up, we didn't know what to expect from them. 2 cops actually showed up. The male officer went inside of the house and looked around,
course it
while the
was.
female officer stayed with us outside. With
Oh, I
a
won't be
small
able to
pocket
watch it
notebook
right
in her
now.
hand, writing down what Evan described to her.
The video then.
And just like that, the cops left. They stayed over Evan's house that night just to make him feel better. We all still play Fortnite together. I'm much better now.
Fortnite.
So am I. Things have changed as well.
I've never been a huge Fortnite person, but all my friends have been for a while. I always feel like I'm being left out when they're saying to jump on Fortnite and such. Yeah, I've played the game a few times and I get the gist of the gameplay and whatnot. I'm just not good at the game. So one Monday night,
That was me
I
when
hopped
this
on the
video
game and played alone
when I
just
did
to
my video on
practice.
this.
I did that over and over and over, until I started actually getting pretty decent at the game. Then I started to play the game with other players. Not my friends, just random people online. I played a game of duos, meaning with one other person on my team. His gamer tag was BobRocket16 or something like that.
Bob
A
Rocket.
few extra C's and
We're watching
B's or
we're watching
whatever.
Fortnite
I didn't
stories,
write it
geezer.
down. We lost the game.
We're watching
They
Fortnite
beat us
stories.
number 20.
Fortnite stories.
After the game was over, I got a person.
Fortnite.
Yes, because I was like,
Yep.
no, when I did my first video on Mr. Nightmare was actually when me reacted to the Fortnite stories. So
Mr. Nightmare.
you'll be I am your worst nightmare.
a message from the guy.
Andrew
saying he thought I
screamed.
was
Andrew screamed like a little girl while you were like 5 minutes before you came back.
No, because I'm watching scary videos on my phone.
Why do you need to watch scary stories on your phone? You're listening to them now.
Yes, I know.
Pussy. I can't really say much. I've been kind of a wuss this whole stream, but why not?
Hang
Pretty
on,
good in that we
let me show Elliot
Yeah,
what I just saw.
yeah. Well,
should play again.
getting back to the stories.
It was weird because really I didn't
There you
play
go.
too well at all
Elliot.
that game. Nevertheless, I played another game with him. This time he turned on his microphone and was trying to talk to me. I don't have a gaming microphone, so I couldn't talk back. I could only hear him through the TV speakers. Based on his tone and what he was saying, he seemed to be getting annoyed that I wasn't
What are
talking
you sending
to
me now?
him. I heard him say things like put the mic on and stop being a faggot.
Yeah,
And
Andrew
I
sent me a
thought
photo.
this guy being cool was gone at this point.
Yeah,
I thought he was
it's
just a
not
straight up
scary.
douche.
Andrew sent me a photo. I can't look. I can't look at it yet because obviously I'm streaming off my phone, so I can't really look.
Yeah, imagine you saw that in the corner of your eye, just hanging from the roof.
No, imagine seeing you every day in school. Blada.
No, that's not fun.
It's more funny than your jokes. So I always I have to bother to tell jokes. You say me and Elliot aren't funny, but we are. Sometimes we are. More funny than you are, Andrew. See, you're laughing at my jokes right now. Andrew just admitted that we were
Andrew, are you going on Forza yet?
It has.
I was gonna finish
Oh yeah, okay.
Is it done?
I think so, yeah.
You think so? Is either you do or you don't.
the game, but after that was it with this guy. He kept saying stuff, most of it incoherent simply because of my distance to the TV and the noise of the actual game itself. But then I heard him say my name. Not just my first name, my full name. When I heard
Jonathan
this,
Ross?
I panicked and thought to myself, is my real name displayed on my profile?
No.
But I realized, no.
Bob
couldn't
Rocket.
be. The guy kept saying things over the mic, but I wasn't listening at this point. I went over to the console and turned it off
By the
in
way,
a
Andrew,
panic.
I have a really nice
Just
potatoes.
knowing that the sound of the guy's voice was coming
Wow,
down.
I don't want to hear you over this of these videos. So shh.
I texted my friends and told them about it. They all seemed to think it was funny, typing their LOLs and LMAOs and whatnot. I put my phone down on the desk as I went on my laptop. The phone vibrated again. I expected it to be one of my friends, but it was an unknown number. The message was hi, and then my full name. I typed back, "Who is this?"
Hello, Giza.
The typing
What do you
bubble
want
for
from
feedback
me?
came up for the longest time. I waited anxiously to see what this person was going to say. The message was, "Is this your address?" And then my actual address. I once again typed, "Who is this?" And then I lied and typed, "No, that isn't my address." The person never responded after that.
Liar.
I started accusing my friends of fucking with me.
Oi,
They all swore they had nothing to do with it, though.
you just swore.
Low-key, I didn't believe
You said
them,
the F
but I
word.
didn't bother
Naughty,
feeding
naughty,
into it.
naughty.
I figured if it is them, the more reaction I give, the more kicks they get out of it. I went to bed ignoring my friends.
I'm just keeping this because I don't know like if there's anything gonna pop up.
Okay.
Yeah, there probably is, so I'm
I
not gonna.
woke up to something.
I'm not gonna bother.
I was almost positive I heard a noise.
Wait a minute. I don't know.
You know how sometimes a sound will wake you up, but you don't know what the sound was because you weren't awake yet to hear it?
Andrew.
Well, that was me at this
Yeah.
moment. I sat up looking around my room as anyone naturally would.
I will.
My whole body jerked in startlement as there was a set of knocks on my window.
You do that.
Instead of looking to see who was out there like a man, I ran like a coward out of my room and to the nearest bathroom where I locked myself in.
Bloody hell.
There were no windows in that bathroom, so I felt safe. I actually fell asleep in that bathroom. And when I woke up,
That was
I
a
texted my
nice
friends again,
car.
telling them all to go fuck themselves. They all got a kick out of it, but when I saw them in
You know the
person,
one
they
in the
seemed pretty
item shop?
genuine when they told me they had nothing to do with it.
You know the one in
To this
the
day, I really
shop?
don't know if my friends were pranking me, or if that guy who I was playing Fortnite with actually somehow got my information and came to my
I can't
house.
hear you.
Oh, doesn't matter.
My 10-year-old son Chris had been playing that Fortnite game all day, every day for the past few months, and it had been driving me insane. I would scream at him to go out once in a while. Instead, all I heard was that sound of that bus honking its horn every 10 minutes, and constant gunshots coming from his room. Eventually one night at like 9 p.m., Chris came out of his room and shouted out to the kitchen that he was having someone over.
Yo!
I angrily asked him who. He said, some guy from Fortnite who lives around here. A fuse went off in my head as I heard this. Apparently, he invited over some random person he was talking to.
Are you thick in the brain?
When I asked him how old, Chris shrugged his shoulders and said, I don't know, he sounds kind of old.
Oh my god.
I started to freak out, knowing some random stranger who was probably well older than my 10-year-old son was coming to my
Obviously.
Wow.
I locked all the doors and turned on all the porch lights.
You are thick in the
I
brain,
told Chris
kid.
to just keep playing his game.
You might be 10, but you should at least know by now.
Else. I waited around by the windows until a car pulled up in front of my house. It stopped.
Action
and the headlights
stations.
turned off. The door opened. Someone came out and started
Andrew,
walking
where
up
are
the
you?
pathway to my front door.
I'm at the motorway
I
now.
felt like my heart dropped
Okay,
into my
let's go to
stomach
my house,
when I
I'll
saw
come to you.
some middle-aged man,
Okay.
probably 40, mildly overweight, step
Oh,
into
he's
the
fat.
light and then up the stairs to the front door. He rang the bell 3 times.
I'm gonna race you into Mercedes, Andrew.
Okay.
I ignored it.
Yeah, there's no imagery, so
He
we're good.
started pounding on the door for a bit. I
Let
ignored
me
that as
in,
well.
fam!
He walked down the stoop, looking up through the windows as he walked
Let
down
me
the
in.
pathway.
Let me
I
in!
made sure he couldn't see me. I thought for sure he'd go to his car and leave, but he went around to the side of my house, out of sight from the windows.
Are you mad, fam?
He was actually going to my back door. I
Why did
heard
you go
him
to
around
your
back,
back
the door
door,
being
fam?
nudged, as he clearly tried to open
Big
it.
gangster.
I stayed put where I was. There were no other entry points to the
They
house.
should do Amiga.
So once he gave up, he would surely
That's
leave.
not.
Wow.
I didn't ask.
The noises from the back door stopped.
I'm
I
joking.
waited for 5 minutes in the kitchen until I thought it was time to check.
I'm joking, man.
I
Calm
wanted to
down.
hopefully get a look
Oh,
outside.
wow.
So I shut the lights and lifted the blinds in the kitchen. There was the man's face, 2 inches from the glass, as he looked into the kitchen. Or rather, he now looked at me. I screamed with a shake in my yell that I was calling the cops. I think that scared him off because he walked away. I watched as he got in his car and left.
Bye.
I didn't call the cops though. Instead, I marched right to Chris's room and scolded
Can't be gonna
him.
end it after this
I
one.
grounded him for 2 weeks. for abusing
maybe.
Not only the household, but himself. That meant no video games for
You've
2
been
weeks.
recording
And
when
after
I
the
was
2 weeks,
40.
he would have to go 2 months without access to his wireless
52, no,
headset.
53 minutes nearly.
No, it's
Now that the
52.
2 weeks are up,
Yeah, no.
he's back
It's
on the
52.
game. I get sick to my stomach
52
thinking
and
about
30
what would have
seconds.
Wait a
happened
minute.
if I
Andrew,
wasn't
I'm
home.
coming to you now.
Yeah, it's 52.
Okay.
Oh, that was okay, though.
6.5 miles.
Oh, okay.
There are. Why there's animated versions of these? Nope. All 5 sleep paralysis stories. Do you know what that is?
What?
Sleep paralysis.
What?
I can't say the word. Paralysis. Andrew, watch the stream and. Do you know what this word means?
Hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
Watch the stream and see what that word means.
It says P-A-R-A-N-Y-S-I-S.
Paralysis.
Yeah.
So it's basically like when you wake up, you think you see someone there. Like obviously, I think I've seen this before, but I don't know if I actually truly have or not. You basically see someone, but you don't like in your mind, like you think that you see them, but in normal reality, there's no one there.
Oh, okay.
Hey, do you get what it means now, Elliot? Because I did not know what it means either. Oh my god.
Elliot?
Yeah?
Did you get what that word means now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into these stories then. Right, sleep paralysis, let's do this. That face, oh my god. Already?
Yeah.
We've literally just started. I'll turn it down just a little bit.
Has anyone ever had sleep paralysis before?
No.
I tell you, it's one of the strangest, most fascinating, and horrifying things that you could experience. It's the feeling of being unable to move upon awakening. Your senses and
It's like me in the mornings then.
but you still feel as though you're in this half asleep, half awake state. I'd heard stories of this long before it happened to me. I've only experienced it once. I was in college. I was going through an incredibly tough time in my life. I was insanely stressed during finals week. I wasn't getting much sleep. It must have been the night before my last final. I went to bed late because I stayed up all night studying for bio. I don't remember at what point I decided to finally call it. I just remember it all becoming a blur and blackness. Next thing I remember, I was in my room, in my bed. There was this weird haziness in my awareness.
I'm gonna turn it around just in
I
case.
was awake, but I felt weaker.
Okay.
When I tried to move, I couldn't. I only moved my eyes to look around the dark room. At one point, when I guessed I was looking to one side of the
You're 1
room,
mile away.
I looked back to the center, and there was this woman standing dead center in the room, facing the bed.
Hey, I went
She was wearing
to
this black
back to
dress and
the
holding
festival to
some
clean
long
my car.
objects. I wanted to call out, Mom? My
I would be
paralysis
quick.
prevented it. I couldn't say anything.
After this, I'm ending the stream. I don't think I can take any more.
She touched my forehead. I could feel it. She got
Ah!
close to me, and I could see my mother's face.
Are you okay?
What happened?
Oh, and you're gonna need to watch the stream for that. You have to skip back a couple of seconds. Skip I don't really know, but just keep skipping back until you see like a big black woman just standing in front of the like our main character in the story.
Oh.
Okay, stop. I'm going to stop talking for a second. I will tell you when you stopped. Okay, you're still talking. Okay, now you're finished. So you're like 20 seconds behind.
Yeah, I don't get what the stream do, eh? This woman just staring at me because I got the video paused.
Okay, went back like 50 seconds.
So, Jesus Christ. So it's basically like a tall woman keeps like dun 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 dun. Get to
Andrew, how are you?
get to the point.
How are you?
Just being in this car instead.
Okay, I'm getting back to the story.
I tried to say Mom again, desperately, but I was stuck in my own body. She stood back up and walked to the doorway before disappearing into the house. I lay there, unable to move, maybe another 10 to 20 seconds before my vision suddenly became more clear, and I was able to think more clearly as well. I was able to sit up. I jumped out of the bed, screaming Mom over and over. I ran to the bedroom hallway, yelling her name. The door opened down the hall, and someone came to hug me. But it wasn't my mom. It was my dad, telling me he misses her too.
It's
My mom died 3 weeks before this happened.
What? I'm actually shocked. So basically, he was yelling to his mum, but his dad came out, and his mum died 3 weeks before this happened. Oh, plot twist right there, geezers. And is there any more imagery? Because I need to know where I went to skip this out.
And you just put your I just saw you get scared.
You must be that long behind because I'm like, the story's finished now. Yeah, there's quite a lot of imagery about this, so I'm just going to keep on my view. After this, I'm ending the show. I don't know how much I can handle. We've never been mine for 2 hours. We've been mine for an hour and 59 minutes.
How vague and how bizarre they can be.
Okay.
You feel like you're in this separate world where things can just make no sense.
You make no sense,
Without when
geezer.
that earthiness transcends into the quote-unquote real world.
Let's make
You'll see what I
conversation.
mean in a minute. I was in REM sleep.
Because this is like one of, I think this would be
followed
pretty
by some
scary.
weird creature in the middle of the woods.
Okay.
The dream became fuzzy though, and I kind of woke up from it. I say kind of because while I was out of the dream and back in my bed,
Now
I
we
couldn't
can
move a muscle in
see
my
that
body.
you are.
I started hearing this faint, weird
And
noise.
you must be.
Over.
It was this
You
indescribable,
must be that far behind because I'm on
yet
story number
alive
2.
type sound. It started light and soft, and it repeated every 3 seconds.
I can't be arsed. Okay, now we've been live for 2 hours, so congrats.
I noticed it was getting slightly louder
Okay,
every
I'm
time.
5 seconds behind.
Can I just skip a bit, please? I'm just gonna skip. I can't
Run
do
to my
this.
parents' room to get my dad to check the closet with me. There was nothing in the closet though,
And
or
you
the
go
rest
right
of
now.
my room. My dad seemed pretty confident
still
that what I
don't
just
look up.
experienced was sleep paralysis, and that he had
It's
experienced it once
pretty
as well.
quick.
Oh
Didn't make me feel
yeah.
any less
Oh my
disturbed
God.
about what I just went through.
Yeah, but mine's from like
Here's story number 3. Sorry I had to skip some of that, but it's a bit too scary for me.
Okay, yeah,
Many
you
years
just
ago,
put like three.
I had a sleep
three
paralysis
fingers up.
experience. I knew there was a thing in my closet, something really evil. But I also knew I was dreaming and I should face my fear.
Well, I need to go to the toilet. You guys
Tried
take
not to
over.
look directly at the closet door.
Okay.
If I moved my
I'll
eyes, my
tell you
head
when
would
you
turn
open
away.
the door.
No matter how hard I tried, I
Open
couldn't
the
look
door.
directly at it. And I woke up in a cold sweat. At first, I
Back
felt really
home.
relieved that it was over. But very shortly, I realized it wasn't a dream, and there was really something in the closet. I was
Hey,
laying on
can
my
you see
back
me in
and
the
couldn't
map?
move. I didn't
What?
really hear it,
Can
but I
you
could
see
kind
me
of
on
feel
the
the
map?
sickening laughter wash over me in
I'm with
waves, emanating from the closet.
I can't hear you because
All of a sudden, the thing throws a human head at me,
What?
and it lands on my chest face up. It was this
How
girl I
quick
knew
you
in high
moving?
school. Up to this point, I was kind of holding it together,
50.
terrified but not panicked.
I'm in
If I
250.
lose it now, I can't even scream. All I could do is make
Where'd
these
it go?
grunting sounds and moaning noises. I'm wriggling and straining, trying to rock from side to side to get it off me, but I can't move. This seemed to last maybe another minute or two, and then I really woke up. It was so traumatic that for weeks I would be scared.
Has anything popped up?
No, because it's watching you.
Oh yeah. No, have you heard anything? Oh yeah. Oh. I think it probably has gone.
I wasn't actually awake.
Oh yeah, I think it's
Something
gone now.
horrible could happen at any second. It still makes my skin crawl when I think about that laugh. The thing is, I never heard of sleep paralysis or night terrors at that point in my life.
I can't hear
I
you.
thought I was losing my mind.
600.
Okay.
Okay, last story of this video and the stream. No, it's not. There's one. There's 5 of them. Oh my god. I thought there's usually 4 or 3 or 4 or even 2.
Paralysis a total of 3 times in my life. The first 2 times, it just consisted of me waking up not being able to move my body. The third time was much different though. I had woken up very early morning, probably like between 5 and 6 a.m.
Is anything?
I'm here.
when the sun was just starting
I'm
to
sitting in
come
the
up.
car.
I'm turning it
There was
down.
light in the room, but barely any. I tried to move, but I had that unfortunately familiar feeling of paralysis.
I'm gonna race you
Helplessness.
this one first.
My eyes fixated on the wall.
Okay.
There's nothing I could do. Then suddenly,
It's shut up. Where are you?
I'm turning it down.
There you are.
Hello.
Mom,
Are you ready?
they were all sobbing
I'm-
hysterically.
What is that?
And they all seemed to be at least a foot taller. It was unnerving. Four of
Ah,
them approached my bed, then stopped at the bedside. Towering
175
over
just
me.
before
All
getting.
four of
there's
them
2 of them.
I couldn't move. I wanted to cry for help.
There's 2 of these
Yell
2.
at them,
I had to
stop
turn it
because
down.
they
Sorry
were
about that,
scaring
guys.
me. Their heights, they looked like they were near to hitting the ceiling.
It's like Kebba then.
Shit, my stuff's off.
It's like Kebba then.
All 4 of them turned and walked back down the stairs.
What is it,
They moved again.
Elliot?
And so I
After
ran
this,
down
my
the stairs
stuff's
to
off.
follow
Watch this.
them,
Ready?
but they weren't in the outside area. I
Ready?
went to each
Okay,
of their
go.
rooms one at a time. All 4 of them were fast asleep. My heart was racing because the most surreal, unnerving thing just happened to me. I had to lean on the wall to gather my thoughts for a second, breathing heavily. Falling back asleep was futile the rest of the
Now
night.
get over to the end.
I lay awake until the sun was fully up. A few days later, I was struck by a speeding car when crossing the road with friends and ended up with 3 broken bones and a fractured thigh.
Well done, mate.
I was hospitalized for a week, and at one point,
Nah,
all 4 of my family members stood next to my hospital
getting
bed,
So it's my
looking
car.
down at me, my mom being emotional
Oh,
and
you want
crying.
me to get the fast car?
It
Okay.
was almost the
No,
same image
I'll
from
get
my
it.
sleep paralysis.
Okay.
I'm not
that's fine.
superstitious at all, but if I were, I would
If you beat me,
100%
if you
believe
beat
that
me.
dream was some kind of sign, or some kind of prediction of the
Oh,
future.
no way.
In fact, I just got chills writing that last sentence, thinking about it.
Okay, last story of this video and stream. Let's do this.
Keep saying that.
No, because I'm mistaking it because there's 5 stories. I thought there was 4.
There was this one time I was out late drinking with
Okay, this is
friends.
officially the last
It
story.
was some point in the summer of 2016.
Is there like anything that will pop up because there's usually something.
Actually, right, you sit in that car.
I think there is, but I'm just not going to show my view. The audio's not important. You can actually watch it on his channel itself.
Someone hiding in a
So-
bush.
But I've got a different car now,
He
Andrew.
pointed and said, "Look." And we all walked a little closer to get a better look.
Fast.
We could see what he was talking
What
about.
car? Oh,
But just
come
barely.
on.
You
Whoa,
better
It was
beat me.
bizarre,
Beep,
like
beep.
someone hiding in his bush in front of this
Mhm.
house.
Ready?
When we got too close, apparently, this weird, off-putting sound started coming from the bush.
We have 600.
So we all screamed and laughed.
What
and ran
the
away. We screamed because it was scary, but laughed
I
because
can't
at the
be
same time
arsed,
it
man.
was bizarrely funny. And there were a lot of
Oh,
us,
no.
so...
No.
Anyway, we walked back to our houses respectively.
We've got like 2
assuming
minutes
whoever
left
was
of
in
this
that bush
video,
was
man.
just messing with people. I fell asleep pretty easily that night since I was drunk. But next thing I remember was waking up to the near pitch blackness of my room.
Talk about
I
Forza
couldn't
more,
look at
guys.
the clock to see what time it was because I literally couldn't move. I was in a sleep paralysis state. I looked around the room with my eyes only and started to hear a familiar noise. The noise we heard coming from that bush.
Turn it down. I can't be arsed. Yeah, talk about Forza more. I just turned it all the way down. What the hell?
Get Ferrari there, winter.
Grotesque,
Yes,
horrific
nice.
head of a demonic ghost-like thing. As it got closer to me, I realized it wasn't floating.
That's
There
weird.
was a body, but
Look
the
at-
body blended in with the blackness.
Look
of
at
the
that.
vision.
Andrew, look at my stream. Look at my stream and look at that.
Oh my god. It looks like you.
Shut up. Elliot, you have to watch. No, go into the stream and watch this. So,
I'm gonna go take a picture, then send it to Elliot.
you see that? You don't.
So I think that's it
This is
easier.
basically.
Elliot.
Okay, I'm just switching over back over to my view now. This is basically what's happening in the stream right now.
It's loading.
Alright, Andrew, you ready?
Okay, I sent you it.
What?
That's what Calendar saw.
Alright, Andrew, you ready?
Yeah, you gotta have a look at the picture first.
Here we go.
Yeah.
See.
It's like me on wedding. It's like me.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm moving on
Do
from
you
that.
know
Let's
who that looks like to me?
Who?
A person who you say, hang on, then.
What, Dwayne Johnson?
Hung open, and it just kept making a familiar noise
see
from the
my name.
bush. It
What?
got mere inches from my
It's a
face
name.
before it suddenly just faded away. And I was able to let out a scream and move my body.
Oh,
I sat in my bed,
remember.
panting and heart racing. I flipped on the lamp and checked around my bed,
Yeah.
but that demonic thing was
I'll be-
gone. What I just experienced seemed so real, like I was awake for it. It wasn't a dream. I told my parents about it the next day, and they agreed with me that it was sleep
Bye-bye.
paralysis.
what do
though
you
they had
mean,
never heard of
bye-bye,
anyone seeing
Mr.
freaky shit
Bye-bye?
like that before.
Oh no, that's not fun. Oh, that's not fun. Reach
Oh, I
to
c-
the end.
That's it.
That's what I said about
I'm looking up. I can't be asked. So yeah, that's
Right,
gonna
what's happening now?
nothing. I'm ending the stream.
Is she back, Andrew?
Okay.
So yeah, that's gonna be
Well, I'll
the
wait for you, I'll wait for you.
that's gonna be the end of today's stream. I hope you have enjoyed it.
Tap and go.
Please like, subscribe. Hold on. Shush. Do my outro. I'm coming. Give me a minute. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this stream. Hope you have enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you won't miss when the next episode when tomorrow's stream comes out. We'll see if I can get
Andrew.
see if I can get Andrew and Elliot for laughing at me half of the stream.
Ha ha ha.
That just echoed. I'll try and get Ryan in tomorrow's stream, so I'll try to. Well, you see on the channel who I'm with, because I put them in the title of the stream. It's either Andrew, Elliot, or Andrew, Elliot, and Ryan. So, yeah.
I'm just changing my car right there, and now race again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be the most perfect thing.
I know.
So, have you guys enjoyed the stream?
Yes. So I sent Elliot something. Can you remember a person called Mo?
Oh, for God's sake. Let's not get to that territory. So, yeah, that's going to be an the stream. Hope you have enjoyed it.
Andrew.
Don't worry, there'll be another stream out tomorrow with Andrew, Elliot, with
this
Andrew.
car cost me 8 million.
With Andrew, Elliot, and maybe Ryan as well. Ryan's just a hashtag here.
This car.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to end the stream here. Hope you have enjoyed. Thanks for watching.
It, though.
Oh my god. Welcome to normal day life.
It sounds nice, doesn't it?
So yeah, hope you have enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.